Hello, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, or to my live stream, should I say, where today we are going to be continuing walking through the creation of a WordPress website. Now, obviously, last week, Friday, I was trying to see if I could fit it all in one live, but that did not go to plan because honestly, I was super exhausted. It had been a long week, but hopefully today it's going to be much better. I do feel more energetic. And it's a Monday, so obviously it's the start of the week. One should really be feeling like exhausted on a Monday. And so before I continue, I just want to remind those people who are on this live, if you've just joined or if you're watching after the fact, to ensure that please do remember to give me a thumbs up. If you're watching from YouTube, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed just as yet, and of course, click on that bell button so that you can receive notifications every time I upload new content. That way you can stay up to date to the upcoming tutorials or any other information I might be posting, because hopefully soon I will be putting up polls every now and then so that the subscribers can actually choose what type of tutorial or what they want to learn more about. And of course, those who are watching on Facebook, please do like the page that you're watching from. And of course, do give the video a thumbs up, and feel free, whether from YouTube or Facebook, please do share the link, because that really helps me immensely in the algorithm for more people to find my channel and watch my content. So that's very much appreciated. And so on to the tutorial that I am about to give you. Like I said, we are continuing from the previous live where we started off with the free version of WordPress that you can be able to utilize in order to start your own website. And like I mentioned last time, as much as social media is absolutely amazing to be able to have, to build traction, to build your brand, one of the most important things to have aside from social media is actually being able to have your own website. Because with social media, the powers that be can easily shut down the entire social media platform. Okay. And when that happens, you don't have anywhere where you can be able to market your product and showcase your products. Okay. Whereas if you own your own website, whatever happens with social media, you can still direct people to your website to purchase your products, see what you're doing, everything of that sort. Because believe it or not, when it comes to a website, everything that you see on social media, you can make happen on your website. That includes building your own community, because bearing in mind, and I said it in the last video, people do forget, because social media comes on apps and you download them from the App Store or the Play Store. People do forget that those are actually websites themselves. And so they work in the exact same fashion, both in the front end and the back end. It just so happens that some are under some massive conglomerates and are very popular than others, but you can literally create your own community even on your website. So if you are, for instance, interested in creating your own version of Facebook, you can actually do that. If you are interested in creating your own version of YouTube, you can actually do that. You can literally create anything that's already out there, especially if you're looking for maybe a niche market. For instance, if you're trying to maybe avoid certain topics or certain categories, certain subject matters, and you want to focus on a particular group of people, you can actually create a social platform that is catered to that particular group of people. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And that's why you find that when it comes to social media, only certain types of group of people gravitate, right, to certain types of social media. For example, even if everyone pretty much uses TikTok, the majority of the audience for TikTok are the young people, because TikTok is very quick. It requires very short attention span. So you're not going to find somebody like my mom or my dad sticking around on TikTok. You know what I mean? You find them more on places like Facebook, whereas you find certain individuals on YouTube, because YouTube has got things like tutorials, got a lot of long form videos, right? And so you are very much likely to find that there's a lot of people who gravitate towards YouTube, whereas places like Facebook, because it's more community like, people have more discussions. Even if there's videos and things like that get posted, there's more discussions that take place on Facebook. So people who prefer that kind of atmosphere, you will find them on Facebook. And then you find places like Reddit and, all the way to now Threads, which is obviously kind of not really the replacement, but one that's going to replace Twitter if Elon Musk doesn't fix up. It's really that simple. So that kind of like gives you the long and the short of the benefits of being able to have your own website, because you will have the power to be able to create it into whatever form, shape that you want it to be, according to what you would like to put out there, rather than relying on other people to be able to try and help you navigate what you're trying to navigate with your own brand. Okay. And so on today, let me just remove that. I am going to bring quickly up the slideshow, because like I said last time that I was going to prepare the notes and everything, because last time on Friday I literally just rushed into it. I didn't bring the notes and everything. So what are the main features of the website? When you're trying to create a website, you have to look at the website, the menu, and then functions. So it's website first, menu, and then functions. And so I'm going to explain them. Website is basically, when you want to create a website, the things that you have to think about is your domain name. First and foremost, the domain name. Okay, your domain name always has to match what your branding is going to be. So for instance, whatever it is that you are going to create your brand to be, you have to put into consideration whether somebody already has that domain name. That's why I always encourage people to try and either come up with a name that's unique, come up with a name that nobody else has, because the chances are, if your brand name is a very common name, or a well-known name, or a name that's easily used by many other people, there is a high chance that when you're trying to purchase your domain name, it will be already taken, which can be a bit of a slight setback when it comes to creating your brand identity on the internet, because the whole point of having a unique brand identity on the internet is that you have a name that you can be able to secure, not just as your domain name, but also across social media platforms, where you don't have to add extra symbols or numbers and things like that just to maintain your brand. Whereas if your brand is, if you're able to secure your brand within its name without having to change too much, that is of higher benefit when it comes to search engine optimization, or for some who might have seen that written as SEO, that's search engine optimization, which basically means that whenever people search for content that's within your niche, or your genre, or your category, you stand a higher chance of your website coming up at the top of the list. Basically, if you are unique and you offer certain products, you stand a higher chance, rather than being drowned in the endless list of product people or other companies that are offering the same type of product as you. So your domain name is vital in that aspect when it comes to choosing your brand name. My recommendation is that whenever you are thinking of coming up with a name for your business, first thing you need to do before you completely say, okay, this is it, and then you start designing a logo and stuff like that, go on Google or whatever other search engine that you use and actually search the name. Search the name and find out if anything comes up. And then on top of it all, go to whatever web hosting company that you want to utilize, or even if you're not going to utilize it, just so you can check to see if you can see the domain name is available or not. Go and check to see if your domain name is actually available. And then when you do that and you find either your domain name is available or not available, it will help you take the necessary step in securing a more unique name that you don't have to basically change up a little bit here and there in order to kind of like secure a unique name for your brand. Okay, so the next step after you have your domain name basically secured, wherever it is that you've purchased it from, the next step would be to go for your hosting, because purchasing a domain name, as I explained in the previous video, it's just about securing the name itself. Hosting basically allows for your brand, for your website basically to be visible to the public. So right now, for instance, I am using YouTube and using StreamYard altogether, right? YouTube could have secured the name YouTube, right? And StreamYard could have secured the name StreamYard. But if they hadn't paid for hosting, which is somewhere where basically all the content, or the pretty much all the content and files, etc., can be saved or secured or stored, more or less, that's the best word to use, or stored. If they didn't have somewhere where they can be stored in order for them to be visible, StreamYard or YouTube would be null and void. I'm streaming across Facebook as well, so Facebook would be null and void if there was no hosting. The name would just be a name. And like I mentioned last week, it's basically like saying, let's say, for example, you are sheltered somewhere, but you don't have an address because that's not your permanent place of You know what I mean? Where you stay, you're not paying rent, you end up being homeless, right? So having a domain name is like me having a name, but not having a place to live. Okay, I will not have an address for people to go to, if that makes sense, you know? So I'm hoping that's a really good analogy that I've kind of used, but I hope it gives people an idea. And then the next part that you have to do after you have just secured your hosting is to make sure that once you have basically activated your hosting for your domain name, that your site has got SSL. Site SSL is basically, have I ever paid attention to what SSL actually means? It's basically to do with security. It's to do with security, securing your site. Hi, Stephanie, for you. Welcome to my live stream, sis. So proud of you. I'm glad I have my daughters to do all this. Oh, I know, right? It's nice to have young kids to be able to do all of this because it's a lot of work. It can be a lot of work. Thank you for tuning in, Stephanie. I really appreciate your ongoing support. You're amazing. This is for smart people. You're too funny. You are too funny. So honestly, it's not necessarily for smart people. I feel like with these things, especially with the way technology has evolved, so long as you know the basics, you can literally run your own business by yourself, especially the fact that when it comes to businesses, it's about minimizing costs as much as possible, right? In the beginning. So if you're able to do certain things by yourself, or like Stephanie for you, get your daughters to do it for you, you are saving a lot of money rather than having to hire someone to kind of like, you know, you're paying them a lot of money and stuff like that. With that said, if you don't have the time, yes, you can hire other people, maybe someone like me, and then I'll be happy to charge you a decent fee to set up your website for you. And so site SSL is basically what allows your website to be secure. Okay. And the reason why SSL, why I put it on the list and why it's really, really important is because depending on where you go, okay, depending on where you go and where you have access to Wi-Fi or the internet, certain places have secured the internet so much that if you try to visit certain websites, it will block the website if the website is basically being seen as unsecured. Basically, if the website is unsecured, whatever local access network that those people are using and how they've connected their internet and how they've secured it, and some of it could be for GDPR issues, right? Depending on where you are. Again, for GDPR basically is for data safety, data protection. And so when certain companies and spaces are trying to protect the data of the users of their Wi-Fi, they will block any website that is not being seen as secure. Now, how does that look like, you may ask? Well, basically, when a website is actually secure, you find that it will literally say not safe at the top, and it won't have a little lock. I'm going to show you, when I start to show you the browsers, I'm actually going to show you what that actually looks like. But websites that are actually secure, if anyone is watching me from a browser right now, you can literally go and look at the YouTube and you see at the corner, it's going to have a lock, and the lock is actually locked. Whereas if it's not secure, the lock will actually be open, which basically is a sign it's not secure. But in addition to that, I don't know about other web browsers, but for Google Chrome, it will literally have not secure at the top. And sometimes it will even say you are about to visit a website that is not secure. Do you want to proceed? Which gives you the option to kind of continue or cancel, you know, going through there. And the reason why that's there in place is because there are some websites which the people who create them don't care about them being secure, because they're there as phishing scams. They're there to try and help obtain your data once you visit the website, and then they can easily hack into your computer and things like that. That's how you find people say, oh, I've been hacked into my entire system. People went into my bank account. It's because they hacked into your computer through your browser, and they were able to access all your personal information through that, because that can happen. And people literally, when the really good hackers, they will hack into your system to the point where they will have remote access. So you might be sleeping, thinking, oh, I'm good, not knowing that your computer has been switched back on remotely, especially if you just put it on sleep as opposed to switch it off entirely. And then they'll basically wake you up from sleep, log in, and then start accessing all your data, because they know that, you know, people tend not to log out when they're using their own personal computers, etc., that sort of thing. And so site SSL is really, really good for you to be able to make sure that you are telling people who are visiting your website that, yes, my website is actually safe for you to visit. Okay. And then the next part of setting up your website, after you've got your domain, you've got your hosting, you've made sure that the site is secure, is your emails. Okay. If you want to have a professional, basically brand, you want your brand to look professional, you want people to be able to take you seriously, the most important thing is to make sure that you do create email accounts for your business to go with obviously the domain name. Right now, there are, depending on where you have gone and registered your where you've gone and registered your domain name, there's some who offer you literally compartmentalized packages where you'll get your hosting but and your domain, but you have to pay another additional amount for your emails. Okay. And some do it like that. I know that GoDaddy is quite notorious for doing that. For me, that's a personal pet peeve, because I would rather, if I'm going to pay for a service, let me just pay for everything in once, and then it's a done deal. And then maybe if there's anything extra that's not within what I initially wanted, then fine, I'll be happy to pay extra for that. Otherwise, I would rather I have everything all at once. And that's what I use for my one. I use a company called SiteGround. And the reason why I chose to use SiteGround is, one, first of all, I will tell you, their customer service is amazing. Okay. This is not a sponsored video or anything like that, so they're not sponsoring me. But I always follow customer service. I used to have it, and SiteGround is an American company. I had to switch from a company called UK2, which was a UK-based company, and it was cheaper for me to get certain things from them. Because they're UK-based, it was easier to kind of contact them, etc. However, the customer service was quite rubbish. I'll be very honest with you, to the point where I was very upset by the time I was like transferring to SiteGround. And SiteGround, their prices are not what I would like them to be in terms of hosting. However, the customer service is honestly really amazing, and for me, even if I would rather have better customer service and a higher price than have bad customer service and a cheaper price. Because if truth be told, it's like you're basically paying getting what you pay for, right? You're basically getting what you pay for. And so getting emails together with your hosting is something I definitely would ask you to look for. So whichever company that you are choosing to go and get your hosting with, always check to see if they're offering emails with their hosting as well. That way you don't have to pay extra, and then look for the option to see how many emails they are enabling you to actually be able to utilize, because some of them will say, yes, emails are included, but you can only create up to 10 emails. But what if you are looking to have a company that's got about 100 employees? Okay, you cannot be limited to only 10 emails, right? You're going to need those extra emails to assign to every employee in order to maintain a professional brand, so that when people are communicating, if they have to communicate with other people outside of your brand, they are communicating through a professional email. But not only is it important for them to communicate and look professional in that manner, but also, in addition to that, when it comes to them communicating using the company email, you don't have to worry about information getting lost in the trenches of someone's personal Gmail. You see what I mean? So even if that person quits tomorrow, you still have access to that email, which means you can still retain all the information that they sent, who they communicated with, and that sort of thing, because it does help safeguard that aspect of your business. So that's something I always highly recommend for people, to make sure that all your employees are actually assigned an email address, because if they're assigned an email address, it's a more guarantee for everyone to be professional, but also you get to retain all the information that they utilize, even if they are no longer part of the company. Okay. And then obviously, last but not least, the site portal. When I wrote site portal, what I'm actually indicating is what you're going to be utilizing to produce your site. And by produce, I mean literally create your website. So there's many ways you can be able to do that. Okay. Even if I am showcasing WordPress, which is what we're going to continue with, but there are a variety of places that you can be able to use as the portal for you to design your website, for it to be visible to the public. One of them is HTML. That is the most basic of ones, because that's the original. Okay, that's the OG of website creation. Well, one of the amongst the OGs anyways, as far as I know. from my generation. So HTML is the one that's first, where basically literally somebody will design your website from their computer, or you can design your website from your computer. If you're using things like Adobe, you will use Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver is the software that you can use to create your website from scratch using HTML, which is basically the code for website creation. Other people will use places like WordPress, like I mentioned. Then there are other websites such as, I think Wix. Wix gives templates and things like that. And then there is one called Webs, because I've used Webs once upon a time. Webs is not too bad, but it's been forever since I've used Webs. It's literally webs.com. Webs works in a similar fashion to WordPress, where you can use them as a subdomain, and then they will be able to basically basically add a fee to you if you want to use your own custom domain name. You are a good instructor, lots of patience, very interesting, actually understand. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you understand. Thank you. I'm glad you understand. Thank you for the feedback, Stephanie. I appreciate it. And so basically there's a variety of websites. So if you are looking to start and you want to use, if you're not really interested in using WordPress, you can literally just Google to say CMS. Now, I remember last time I said, I think I said, I can't remember what I said, but actually CMS is actually content management system. That's literally what I was trying to say last time, but I was so tired. I even got the first word wrong. It's content management system. So a lot of the platforms that offer easy to use or easy to build websites are content management systems, which is what WordPress is, which is what Wix is, a lot of other places, and even the hosting company that you choose to host with. Sometimes some of them do actually have a website creation tool for you, where you can be able to create your website with them on the back end of the hosting company. So that's another shortcut. And if their customer service is really, really good, like SiteGround, the one I use, they might even be able to help you step by step with certain things that you are not sure of. Okay, so that's the content management system. When it comes to site portal, you can use HTML, you can use the content management system such as WordPress, etc. Okay, and so now once you have gone and created your website, the other features that you're going to be looking into, which are also the main features that allow your website to actually just have the basics, are having your menu. Within your menu, the most common pages that you will find in the menu of a website are the homepage, the About Us, the news or blog, depending on what it is that you're offering, services, your portfolio, the shop page, and the contact us form. Now, it depends on what it is that you are obviously selling or you're putting out there, that you might decide to do away with some of them. For instance, if, for example, you're just offering a service, depending on if your service is not the tangible type, you might not necessarily need a portfolio, especially if it's financial services and things like that, because financial services offer basically information and services that you can't really showcase, if that makes sense, as a portfolio, because it's GDPR, right? It's a data issue. You can't be putting up people's financials to the public, so you can't really showcase that. So portfolio wise, you might not be able to put a portfolio. However, you might be able to put maybe a gallery of all your list of clients that you have. Whereas if, for example, you're not really offering a service and maybe you are just a blogger, if you're just a blogger, you probably have a home, an About Us, and then a blog. As opposed to news, you have a blog page, and then you maybe have a shop, because most cases are not, you might want to sell some merch. And then you have a contact form in case someone wants to contact you with questions or collaboration, that sort of thing. So you tweak it according to what you are offering. Some of them can, tend to be a lot more extensive. What I'll do is I will show you some of my own websites, which are a variety of different ones, because I've got a magazine website, I've got a gaming website, I've even got my own personal website. My clothing website right now is under construction because I'm kind of re-adding all my items. I would have shown you that one, but I'm sorry, still under construction, can't show you that. So I'll show you the ones basically that I placed on the thumbnail, to just give you an idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to tweaking the About Us, blog section, etc., that sort of thing, because they do work very differently from one another. And so once you've got your main features basically for the website, the home, about, etc., which are all the pages, we have to look into the functions. Now, these are the functions, and I call them functions because these are the ones that allow your website to function a little bit more effectively. Okay, so the first one you can see at the top of the list is Jetpack. Jetpack, I mentioned it in the previous live. Jetpack is basically a plugin that comes with WordPress. And now here I'm mainly focusing on WordPress, okay, because this tutorial is about WordPress. So the functions that I'm focusing on are based on a WordPress website. Clothing, yes, yes, a clothing line. I do have a clothing line. I just, you know what I'm like, Stephanie. I don't always like, say too much. A clothing line. And so basically, the WordPress Jetpack is instrumental in ensuring that you are connected to social media for your website. Jetpack helps with your analytics for your website, where you can see site viewers, etc., that sort of thing. Jetpack also helps with widgets because it does offer a variety of widgets that you can place on the sides of the websites. Now, for those who don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to widgets, I'm literally going to be mentioning in the next one after this one. So Jetpack actually helps with widgets. The next one is WooCommerce. WooCommerce is if you're literally going to be selling anything on your website, and it's a WordPress website, WooCommerce is the one that comes in place. WooCommerce basically, it's kind of almost in the name, isn't it? Commerce. Why they named it Woo, I don't know. I just think it is a cool name. I kind of like it personally. But WooCommerce basically enables you to be able to create a shop page, hence the shop page in the menus option. So some of them are kind of tied together. And WooCommerce is the one that whether you are selling digital products, which you require download, or you are selling physical products where you've literally turned, I don't know, your garage or your other bedroom or your corridor, whichever part of your house you've turned into basically your stockroom, you'll be able to use WooCommerce as a means to be able to just, get all the information through WooCommerce, all your products listed on the website. WooCommerce will basically literally prepare everything for you. As a matter of fact, WooCommerce can even prepare labels for you. It can prepare labels for you to put on your products when someone has actually purchased an item. That way it's easier for you to be able to ship them over to them, whichever part of the world or country that you are willing to ship your items to. And so that's what WooCommerce does. It helps you basically create your shop, your website to have products that you can actually sell. And that also can go all the way to you offering a service. For instance, I offer brand marketing, that sort of thing, right? I can easily put, I haven't done it, but I can easily place those things on my website where I can say, okay, if you want a brand consultation, the minimum fee is this much, and it's a half an hour consultation, etc., that sort of thing. I can just put a poster on there. Someone can pay. I'll know that they've paid for the consultation. And then all I have to do is add, once they've gone to checkout, it sends them to a Google Calendar where they can choose when they want to schedule it. And then it will show them which available dates are there for the consultation. And then they would have already paid for the service. And then I just have to make sure that I meet my end of the deal, right? And give them that consultation, whether it be virtually or physically. And that can be placed in the prices as well. My prices can vary from, okay, this is a virtual consultation, so it will be maybe slightly less because I don't have to go to you. I don't have to come to you. I don't have to travel. There's no expenses in that aspect. Or I can do it, physically, and then the price could be slightly different, and people just buy them like they would a voucher, so to speak. And so you can really make the most of your website when you've got access to something like that that actually enables for that. And WooCommerce is quite amazing for that. In addition to that, one of the beauties about WooCommerce is not only will you be able to have your products on there, but it easily synchronizes with Facebook. Okay, in as much as I can be sometimes with Mark Zuckerberg and the way he runs Facebook and the ads and all that stuff, one thing I do give them is their flexibility to integrate with other platforms. And they're very good at it like that. And WooCommerce actually integrates easily with Facebook shop as well as Instagram shop. That way, whatever products that you have on your website, you can make them visible on Instagram as well as on Facebook. And so when people go ahead and see your products on Facebook and Instagram, because it will literally automatically give you a shop page, which I think is really cool. And people can literally browse through your catalog of items. And then when they click to purchase the item, it tells them that they're going to be redirected back to your website, which will be your shop, and then they can process their payment through there. And so I do love that you can actually be able to do that. And so whenever people feel like they find it quite daunting having a YouTube channel and then they haven't been monetized just as yet, and they see everyone's got Teespring, which is basically the fulfillment center that is integrated with YouTube, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to wait until you're monetized on YouTube in order to have your own shop page. You know, if anything, the method that I use, which I'm going to show you, which I'm super proud of, honestly, I think it's amazing. It's a company called Printful. It's the one that I integrate my shops with, and I can have as many shops as I want in the one account. And basically, sorry, literally my eyelash keeps like tickling me. So annoying. I'm going to pull it. So annoying. Basically, Printful allows you to basically create as many shops for the different websites that you have as you want, and you can connect them to the various websites, right? And create as many products as you want, and they'll take care of the fulfillment. And they've been expanding and expanding. I remember when I first started with Printful, they only had USA base. And now they actually have European base, which means anyone that's in the UK that wants to purchase my product, they don't have to wait for weeks for the item to be delivered to them, but it will only take a few days. You know what I mean? Which I think is really great. And then people who are in the USA, they can purchase my items and they'll still be able to get their item in a few days. So they've expanded that platform that way. But we're going to obviously get into more details a little bit later with that one. And then now the next part is Google AdSense. Google AdSense, basically, for those who are looking to, for lack of a better term, have a passive income, especially if you know that your website is going to grow and it's going to be receiving a lot of traction on it. This is more or less recommended for people who've got websites that are like magazine websites, websites where, and even if you're giving lots of tutorials and things like that, the way I do, it's actually handy for things like that, because you're basically monetizing your website. And again, there is no cap to say that, oh, you have to reach X amount. You know how like social media platforms, which technically websites that you don't own, you're just basically technically using their subdomain. They tell you have to reach a certain cap in order to make money from us, etc. If you're on your own website, you get to decide when to start making money from your website. Okay, all you have to do is make sure that your Google account is actually connected to it and you've got a Google AdSense account created. So two things you have to have, okay, a Google AdSense account and a Google Analytics account. Okay, and for those who are already running YouTube channels, you will find that when you started your YouTube channel, at the back end, it actually requests, there's a section that asks you if you would like to place your Google Analytics account name or account number, I think it is, and you have to place it at the back end of your YouTube channel. Okay, and that's the one that will help with the analytics of your website as well. And then in addition to that, all you have to do is create a Google AdSense account. And when you've got a Google AdSense account, there is a plugin that's available with WordPress that actually allows you to integrate that. And then not only that, and some people are probably panicking, yeah, but how do I go about putting the adverts, right? Because you find that there are adverts at the top, adverts at the bottom, adverts within posts when you see, you know, articles and things like that, and adverts on the sides, which is the widget area. And the good thing is, before, we used to have to manually do it. I remember years ago, I used to have to manually place my adverts, like literally get the code from Google AdSense and then place the code if I want it to be like a leaderboard. The one at the very top is called a leaderboard. If I want it at the leaderboard, I had to manually place it in the leaderboard and make sure that it's not going to get skewed and stuff like that. If I wanted it in the widget area, I had to place it there. If I wanted it in the footer area, I had to physically place it there. But now they have made it so much easier and so much more user-friendly that if wherever it is that you want to place your advert, it allows you the option to do a test where you can see roughly where it will automatically place the adverts for you. So you don't even have to do too much work. All you have to do is just make sure that the accounts are connected and that you've provided the correct information, and Bob's your uncle, basically. And so Google AdSense, so I put that because it is important, especially if you're hoping to earn from your website and get your returns on investment, because technically once you've purchase your own domain name, you're paying for hosting and things like that, you are investing in yourself, you're investing in your brand. Okay. The next section is the widgets. Okay, the widgets, which I think I've mentioned a couple of times now. If you've ever visited a website and you've seen at the bottom of the website, they've got like Instagram embedded at the bottom. They've got maybe even a YouTube video, a tiny little YouTube video at the bottom. They've got even a contact us, information at the bottom. Some of them are on the side where you'll see like maybe these are the latest articles, these are the latest clothes that we're selling, etc. They're on the side. Either it could be either on the left or the right. Those are the widget areas. And now those are the main known widget areas. Sometimes the widget areas are actually in the middle of the website, in the front of the website. It's just that you don't know it as a viewer to the website, because in the back end, whoever it is that's editing and customizing the website can actually see, oh, this is a widget area, it's a widget area. So depending on the type of design the website has, some widget areas are actually placed right bang in the middle, in the front of the website, because the person who designed it maybe wanted to be able to enable certain features to be implemented in certain sections of the website. And the only way to go around doing that is to use the widget option, because it's the one that can enable you to add a lot more elements to cross market your brand, so to speak. And the last but not least, I was going to say last but not least on my list is the mailing list. No pun intended, like that was a lot of lists. Anyway, the mailing list. The mailing list is basically very important, especially if you want to maintain repeat customers. If you want to have more people visiting your website, if you want to be able to update people on what you are up to within your website, a mailing list is important. And so basically this is where you start collecting emails from people, from your customers, etc., that sort of thing. You create a mailing list through that. That way, if something new is happening, or if your site is going to be going under construction, if you have got sales coming up, if you've got interesting promos coming up, if you've got new clothing that you've come up, if it's a clothing line, if you've got new services that you're going to be offering, the mailing list allows you the option to be able to email all your customers or all the people who've registered on your website and tell them what it is that you're up to and what you are, what you have got to offer them this time round, basically. So it's a good way to keep communications open with customers, and also enable you to have repeat customers. Because remember, it's one thing to be able to have people visit your website once, it's another to try and get them to come back, right? And you want that repeat customer, because when you have repeat customers, you basically end up benefiting from them, because if they like your service, they like what it is that you have to offer, they will tell people. And the best marketing any company, no matter how big they are, has is word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best marketing that any company has. And that's the very reason why influencers are such a big thing now, because they work in a format that is almost like word of mouth, because it's not overproduced advertising. It's literally someone holding, okay, I'm just about to hold something here. I'm literally holding my cocoa butters in front of me. Don't ask me why it's in front of me right now. But literally they'll be like, oh, I really tried this, I really love it. It's like me talking to you as a friend, right? And so people are more likely to buy into it, because it's like word of mouth. That's why advertising companies, marketing companies do like an influence. Although, because people have kind of caught on to it, not every influencer is easily bought into, because they know some people just accept deals for the sake of selling something, not because they believe in that item. So there are pros and cons about it. And so now that we've looked at the main features, we're going to move on to setting up those main features. Okay, once you've got all your main features, which, by the way, we're going to literally start manually going through all of this. I just thought I would go through this template. And what I'm going to do is, for those who are already on my Patreon, because I do provide all my notes and templates, etc., to my patrons. I am going to be sending you these notes, and I still have to send you the previous notes actually from the previous live that I did, the presentation that I gave last time. So I need to make sure I send that through to my patrons. I do appreciate all the people who are my patrons. I appreciate the love and the support. And so setting up your main features, which is basically creating your pages. Okay, we're going to go through that. We're going to set up Jetpack. We're going to set up WooCommerce. We're going to set up a shop, and we're going to set up the contact form as well. Because apart from everything else, those things are the main things that you will find yourself needing to set up in order to kind of get started. Okay, so this one is a really, really quick one. That's because we are literally going to be going through them manually as I set it up with the website that I will be creating. And the next one is publishing your content. So after you set up all your main features, the next part is we're going to look into how you can go about publishing your content. So publishing a page, publishing your posts or blog posts, publishing your products, because even when you add your products, you're technically publishing your products, okay? All the way to publishing your portfolio. This is when you're putting your portfolio together to showcase to other people. And then, of course, publishing your plugins. So plugins are the ones that make certain things work, such as your product. You're going to need a plugin for that. And depending on how you want your post to go, you might need plugins for that. And so, yeah, that kind of brings me to an end to this particular part of the presentation. And so, yeah, the next step I'm going to make now is I'm going to move my StreamYard over this side. That way I can be able to share my screen. There we go. I'll be able to share my screen, and then we can continue where we left off. If you recall, last time I made a website called The Sims Realtor, okay, .wordpress. But the next step is I'm actually going to utilize my Patreon link in the chat. Sure, I'll put the Patreon link in the chat, Stephanie, no problem. Basically, the next step I'm going to show you is actually from scratch how I create the entire website, WordPress, because we went through creating the simrealtor.wordpress.com, right, using the free version. But everything else that I'm going to be showing you using the WordPress.org version of the website, you can actually be able to implement with the free version. Okay, rather than me having to do things twice, I thought it better that I just show you with the paid version, because I feel that's the one that I honestly highly recommend for everybody. Stephanie, let me just get that link for you. Let me see, Patreon. There you go. Just gonna put that. Thank you for asking, Stephanie. So I'm just gonna put that ticker, and then I'm gonna put it in the comments as well. There you go. Hopefully they will come out okay. Is it going to take its time? Okay, I think it's posted them. It acts really weird when I take, because this other screen on this side is a tiny little screen. So, okay, so let me put this down. And for those who've just jumped in, please do not forget, please do click like on that button that you can see, literally the little thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up. Share this video if you can. I would very much appreciate it. You are most welcome, Stephanie. You are most welcome. Share this video, everybody. Join in the chat. I might put the link for anyone who might have any specific questions that they want to ask. I might put in the StreamYard link to get you to join in and ask me the questions, because it might be easier for me to actually answer the questions as I am basically going through the tutorial. Let me just do presenter, share screen. Okay. I'm going to share that one. And voila. Okay. Add it to the stream. There we go. And then I'm just going to do, it's probably going to take a minute. I'm hoping StreamYard is going to behave this time, because last time it froze like a couple of times, which is so very bizarre. Okay, so I'm just going to remove the ticker because that is kind of getting in the way so that people can actually see everything that's on the screen. So this is the one that we were creating last week. Yeah, technically it was last week, right? So we managed to add obviously the banner because we literally maintained the design that the template kind of came with. It's actually a very cute template. I definitely would recommend it. The only thing is obviously if you're using a .wordpress website, whatever the name is, .wordpress, you will not be able to add WooCommerce. In order to sell your products, you're literally going to have to do it in the manual way and then implement something like Stripe. I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard of Stripe. Stripe is basically a portal that people are able to utilize in order to process payments, and it was offering the option to add Stripe. I'm not sure if Stripe is the only one that the free version can integrate with, but I can only assume that maybe there's also an option to do it via PayPal as well. Okay, so on that note, so let me go ahead. I'm going to first, just for the sake of my own safety and security, I'm going to just go to SiteGround from here first to make sure that I'm logged in. And then I am going to go to the website. And I'm going to find the website that I'm going to be doing the demo with. Okay. Titles. Is it there? Oh, right. Okay, we're good. So I'm going to now bring it over. I'm going to swing it right over. Okay, so like I said, I'm literally running through the entire process, literally from you registering the website with WordPress. Okay, so the first thing, what I did initially with this particular domain, I actually redirected it because it redirects to the Sims website. It redirects to EPCreativeMedia. So I'm actually going to delete that redirect because I don't need it anymore. Okay. And so now that I've done that, if I try to look at the site, try to visit the site, I'm hoping it will tell me, come on, go dashboard. Thank you. I'm hoping it's going to tell me that a site is being prepared, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Where is that option? Where is it? Domain. Here's my dashboard. Where's the link? There's normally a link right there. Okay, not file manager, FTP, don't know. Security. I'm going to show you the security that I was talking about. Okay. Where's my domain? It's not Parks, not a subdomain, it's not redirect, DNS. I don't want to do any of that. Where's the section for that? Oh my gosh, have I gone and lost myself in my own place? Wild. So as you can see, this is the file manager. You will find that if you're using things like SiteGround, yeah, you have this section where you can actually upload files directly here. There's actually two ways you can be able to upload files if you are using HTML, okay? Not if you're using WordPress. If you're using HTML, this is this type of section you will find in the back end of your hosting company. You will have a file manager section, and then you're also going to have an FTP account section. But we are using WordPress, so you don't honestly have to worry yourselves about this. The only time you might need to worry yourself with this is maybe if you need to add something to the root of the website, which is maybe you have to go through this routine. However, depending on, again, the customer service that you have with the hosting company that you're utilizing, literally they will take you step by step on how to do that, because it will vary from hosting company to hosting company. You might not get the exact thing that I am looking at right now. And then let me quickly might as well go to the HTTPS. So the HTTPS, whenever you see someone type in HTTP at the beginning of a URL, and some have HTTPS. The S stands for secure, which is basically the SSL that I was talking about. So with my case, the service that I pay for with SiteGround comes with hosting, and comes with emails, unlimited amount of emails, unlimited amount of domain names, although it is limited in the amount of storage I can utilize. And trust me, I have utilized a lot of their storage, because I think I've reached about 80% of storage, which is quite a lot. And so it comes with my hosting, it comes with my emails, and it also comes with security, which is the SSL. As you can see at the top here, it says, use this tool to enforce your website to work over an encrypted and secure HTTPS connection. The HTTPS redirect is performed on a server level and works for any website with active SSL. Okay, so this, I enforce it. This is to make sure that wherever my site is visited, they can see that it's actually secure. Okay. And then the SSL manager is the one that you actually utilize to activate the SSL certificate. As you can see here, mine says status, it's active, and it expires on the 19th of 09/2023. Basically, when it expires, I'm just going to renew it because it actually is, it comes with my service, so I won't need to have to pay. But some of them, some hosting companies will offer you an SSL certificate for only a year. Then afterwards, you actually have to pay for it. And this is why when I talk about trying to find a service that you can get everything in one, that's why I'm constantly recommending SiteGround, because I really am impressed with the service they have given me, because I don't have to fuss and stress about too much stuff, you know, and not to forget the customer service is amazing. So that's the SSL certificate, basically. Then the website, normally when I go to dashboard, hang on, just give me 1 second. I think maybe I'm rushing through. Nope. Let me go to WordPress. So the WordPress option obviously allows you to install, etc., that sort of thing, but we're not trying to do that. And so because I can't find the section that allows me to be able to just click on the link so you can see the link, I'm actually going to go and try and just type it in as a normal URL. Okay, so the URL is basically the Sims. Oh, I've got all caps. I don't know, I've got this thing where whenever I'm typing domain names at the top, even if I type all caps and it's not supposed to have an effect, I always prefer to put it back in lowercase, which it actually doesn't make a difference. So I don't know why I'm so fussy about it. So the simsrealtor.com. Okay, if I type that, at the moment, you see it almost showed like the, okay, it almost showed the site icon for EPCreativeMedia. But as you can see, the Sims Realtor, mind blown, a blog about philosophy. Now, here's the thing. I think I must have already created the WordPress website, which is my bad. I think I might have done it, then I just redirected it because I didn't have time to actually set it up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything, okay? Because the whole point of me doing this tutorial is so I can show you guys how these things work from scratch. So I'm literally going to close that. And I am going to go to, now this is where it gets a lot more technical. So honestly, please do not mind this section. This is literally my side because I know how to do it. For those who don't know how to do it and you want to start from scratch again and basically scrape everything, just go to the customer service and they can actually scrape everything and then allow you to start from scratch. For me, I know what I'm supposed to do. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and do it myself. For those who are curious, maybe you want me to walk you through this step. Basically, if you want to try and scrape a WordPress website that you have already created, but you've made too many blunders that you can't go back, you know, that sort of thing where it's like spilling something on your top. And oh, you're welcome. Hang on, where are the comments? This thing is so small on this side. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you love this. I appreciate you tuning in, El Farhan. Thank you, girl. So basically, the PHP My Admin is the place where you can deal with a lot of the database, and that's where your database actually is for your WordPress website. When it's once set up, PHP My Admin is technically the back end of all the little bits and pieces of your website. And so if you find yourself in a situation where like you've stained something that's white and then you're trying to wipe it, you're making it worse and worse and worse, and you've done that to your website and you just want to start from scratch, you want to scrape it, the quickest way to be able to do that is to go to the PHP My Admin. Now, if you're using SiteGround or something that looks similar to what the SiteGround dashboard or control panel looks like, you basically have to go to your site. and then you have to go to MySQL. I call it MySQL. It could be just MySQL, but I don't know why I call it MySQL. When you click on that, you find it's got databases, users, remote, and PHP MyAdmin. Okay. Now the databases and users are basically the ones you have to create in order to actually create a WordPress website to begin with. Okay. So in this case, I'm actually just going to go to the database, and I'm going to delete the database. Okay. I'm going to delete the database. As you can see here, delete, because I technically don't have anything on the website. So once I delete the database, I'm literally deleting everything that you just saw. Even if there was not much going on, I am deleting everything that I had created. So I click confirm. That deletes the database. The user, on the other hand, can actually stay. But again, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to get rid of the user as well. That way I can create another one from scratch. Okay. Delete the user. Done. PHP MyAdmin is where you literally can go to access that database. But because I've now deleted it, if you notice there was something down there, it's gone because there's no database visible. And so now I'm going to go and try and create the website from scratch. So if I try to go to the Sims Realtor now, okay, realtor.com. Oh, hang on. It shouldn't appear because the database really is gone. I think my cache, my internet cache is still like there. So let me do something real quick using my phone, because we're on the same Wi-Fi network. It will still think that it's the same. So if I click on, let me see. I'm technically supposed to be sleeping right now. Literally, my phone has gone black and white. It's telling me it's bedtime. It's telling me it's bedtime. That's hilarious. The Sims Realtor, yes.com. Oh, it hasn't gotten rid of it even on here. That's interesting. All right. Normally, it should have gotten rid of it, honestly. I'm not sure why it hasn't gotten rid of it, but let's just go with the flow. Let's just go with the flow. Hang on. Let me go to WordPress. I'm going to go to WordPress. And again, for those who are learning for the first time, don't pay this section too much mind because it will drive you crazy. Okay, so here it's saying WordPress plus WooCommerce, etc. Login. Let me see if it's going to take me there. Error establishing a database connection because it doesn't have one anymore. Okay, so I'm just going to do this, and I'm actually going to delete the application because I think the reason why it keeps trying to go there is because technically the application is still there. So I'm not going to delete that as well. This action cannot be undone. Clicking the confirm button will permanently delete this application. If you want to preserve your database after deletion, tick the no. I want to keep my staging copies as standalone. No, I don't want to keep anything because we're literally starting from scratch. Okay, so hopefully that should have gotten rid of everything. If it hasn't, trust and believe it's actually gone. My internet cache is just saved it, if that makes sense. It's actually not there anymore. So now what are we going to do? If you are using a website like SiteGround, sorry, brain fart, a website like SiteGround, you do have the option for an easy installation. Okay. And the easy installation is basically where it gives you these options. Okay. So let me just go to the top so you can just see properly what I am indicating. Just close everything so you can see. Go to dashboard and close that. Okay, good. So if you're using something like SiteGround, these, in most cases, they're not. A lot of the hosting companies will have a section for your site, a section for your security, for your speed, for WordPress, if they integrate well with WordPress, for the domain, which is if you want to park the domain, if you want to redirect the domain, your emails, your stats, because yes, in as well as using Jetpack for the front end or the back end of your website itself's dashboard, the control panel of your hosting company will also have some statistics. Thank you. Statistics for your website, and then obviously for developers. Okay, this is if you've brought in someone who wants to do some extra tweaking and things like that. Personally, I've never really used the developer section because I've never needed to. Okay, and so you find that, but in your case, you're going to want the WordPress section. Okay, now the WordPress section, like it's showing there, has the option for you to install and manage. And so you literally can either select WordPress if you just want just a basic WordPress website with a blog, etc., or WordPress plus WooCommerce, because it's well known people use WooCommerce quite a lot with their WordPress, right? And so this takes you step by step the installation. I'm not going to click on this because honestly, if you utilize this, literally you don't even need anyone to show you. It literally walks you through every single step until the website is created. However, I'm doing this for people who maybe have a service that they've been given that is not offering all these easy to access options, right? And so the first thing you need to do is go to WordPress.org. You see, it wants to go to .com. No, we do not want .com this time. Remember, .com is for the free version of the website. We want .org. Okay. WordPress.org is where you get to basically collect the WordPress template, or should I say the coding for the site, and you get to download it so that you can be able to install it to your website. Okay, so this is the more complicated part, I think. So please, if you've got a notebook or anything like that, do write down the steps, use bullet points and things like that in order to remember where I went. So right now I've gone to WordPress.org, and then you see it says Get WordPress. So when I click on Get WordPress, the good thing is when you go to the website, it's literally right in your face. Get WordPress. The latest edition of WordPress is 6.2.2. 6.2.2, yeah, 6.2.2. Why do I feel like I'm saying that wrong? 6.2.2. It's even got an installation guide, but obviously because I'm talking you through this tutorial, I don't need an installation guide because I know exactly what I am supposed to do. Okay. Personally, I haven't actually done this in a really long time because there was a time it was such a quick thing, but because SiteGround now offers it, I normally sometimes just go through the quick route to save myself time, because sometimes this takes a minute. So click on download WordPress. So as you can see, it's asking me where I want to go ahead and download it. So I'm going to go to the Elaka one. I've got a section for tutorials. No. I've got website section. No. Okay. So I'm just going to do this. Tutorials, because I really hate mixing things where I don't want them to be. So I'm going to click on tutorials, and then I'm going to click on save. And so that, as you can see, if you notice, it's a zip file. So it's going to take a minute to download. Now, for those who are accustomed to Google Chrome, now you're probably expecting the download to show at the bottom here. Well, as of a few days ago, Google Chrome have changed the way their downloads work. Okay, whenever you're downloading an item, it actually, the downloads now show up there, which I find very interesting, because for those who maybe, are maybe using the entire Windows Microsoft Edge, which is the new version of Windows Explorer, Microsoft Edge actually always shows the downloads up here. Now, initially, Microsoft Edge, this is just a little segue. Initially, Microsoft Edge actually copied the format of Google Chrome. And so it's very interesting to see now Google Chrome has adapted a similar methodology. Personally, I didn't mind seeing my downloads at the bottom. You know, maybe I'll adjust to this. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like it very much. And it's one of the reasons why I wasn't really a big fan of Microsoft Edge. So I am surprised that Google Chrome is actually doing that. So let me check to see where it's downloading it to. There you go. Oh, it's done. Good. And so it's saying done, but it's not finished because it's got that pause button. So basically, when you're downloading, this is just a little FYI, okay, a little fun fact. When you're downloading using Google Chrome, your downloads are now officially in the top right corner. You have to click on the little arrow that's pointing downwards. And if it's a large file that you're actually downloading, you find that it's actually filling up with like a blue. With mine, because my whatchamacallit is blue. It fills up with a little blue thing as the time is going. When it finishes, this is what you will see. Let me come off it real quick. When it's done, you will see it's got the download, it's got the arrow, and then it's got a little basket at the bottom of it. But when it's still downloading, it actually has a circle around it. So that's how you know if it's still in the process of downloading and if it's completed downloading. But all you have to do, if you maybe are not sure where you downloaded your stuff, if you don't have the setting in Google Chrome to ask for it to ask you where to download stuff, it just automatically downloads them wherever, most likely the downloads folder. But if you're not sure, you just literally click on that, and then you can click on the folder there. and you can see when I hover over it, it says show in folder. Okay, this other option allows me to go straight to the folder and open it, but it's a zip file. So I don't really want it to be open because I need to be able to unzip it. Okay, so I'm going to click on that and say show in folder, and then it should open it. It's gone and opened it on the other screen. So I'm going to bring it over here for you to see it. As you can see, that's the WordPress folder. Then you can literally go ahead and unzip it. You can either right click and click unzip. Okay, on there was that extract all, or if you've got it clicked on like this, you can actually go to compressed folder tools, and then the option to just extract all is actually there. For those who don't know, if you're using a Mac, obviously just extract it the way you would extract a Mac. It's been a while since I've extracted a file through Mac, so I can't fully remember. So, and I don't want to give anyone any wrong information, but go ahead and unzip the file. So in my case, I'm going to say extract all, and I'm hoping this is going to be quick because it normally has quite a lot in it. Let's have a look. 62.6 megabytes. And so whilst it's doing that, I'm actually going to go ahead and put the StreamYard link in the chat. That way, whilst I'm explaining this stage of the tutorial, if anyone has got any questions, this is your opportunity to jump in really quickly, and then I can continue, because it's saying, no, it's not. 25 minutes. Is it having a laugh? It must be having a laugh. 25 minutes. I do not have 25 minutes. It must be having a laugh. That is so annoying. 25 minutes. Do I look like I've got 25 minutes? Do I look like? It must be having a laugh. It must be having a laugh. Oh my gosh. 25 minutes. Are you kidding me? Let me see. Let me do this. There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing a bit more easier. Okay, so I'm going to post the link in the chat. So for those who've got any questions, any specific questions, please use the letter Q and with the Q, and then ask your question in the chat, whether Facebook, or if you want to come and actually there's not enough space for you to ask your question in the chat, you can actually jump in and then I will add you to the stream. You don't have to show your face, and you can go ahead and ask me the question. And so whilst this thing is going to take 14 minutes, which, oh my gosh, I forgot. This is why I said that if I recall, it's been a while since I've done this particular process, because it takes a minute. Now it's saying 3 minutes. Yes, can now reduce that to like 1 minute? It is important that you see this stage of it in case you are faced with a situation where you have to take this particular, to take these particular steps in order to install your WordPress website. Now it's gone back to 11 minutes. That's so annoying. And so let me go back to SiteGround. And so basically, after you have downloaded WordPress.org, the idea is after the file is extracted, you have to go through the files within WordPress.org, the WordPress.org folder, and you have to find, there's a specific section that you have to find, and you have to actually edit them. And this is why for those people who are beginners, etc., I always recommend a quick install option if the hosting company you have chosen, right, is giving you a quick install option. And with that said, for those who actually might be interested in using SiteGround, I do have a referral link that I can be able to provide to you. So let me just get that. Okay. I do have a referral link. So if you are looking to purchase your own domain name and you want to use the same hosting company that I am using, because I do highly recommend it, I'm going to post that link in the chat right now. It's just come through. So just follow that link. That's a referral link. And if I'm not mistaken, if you use the referral link, I think you're going to get about a month free of hosting, which is a good thing. And it gives you a chance to kind of test it. And you can, if you decide to change your mind, you can actually move to another provider if you like, So this gives you an opportunity to actually get at least an initial free service, if I'm not mistaken. Now let's go check to see this thing is still going. How many minutes? 10 minutes. This is annoying. Okay, so whilst that is taking place, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually just going to try and show you guys some of the websites. Okay, whilst we're waiting, I can see the little thing is going through. Let me show you some of the websites and show you the different features, because I did mention that during the presentation. And so the first one I'm going to show you, let me take you to TGZ Mag. This is my pride and joy, because this particular website is the one that forced me to learn how to use WordPress. Okay, and we are talking about what year are we into that? 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, why have I not celebrated 10 years of TGZ magazine? I actually need to celebrate 10 years of TGZ. I didn't realize that I've had it for 10 years. It was 10 years ago, because it was 2013. And I remember wanting to create an actual magazine, which I did end up creating. But at the same time, I needed to create a website to go with it, right? And I was like, okay, what am I going to use? Because a lot of things have changed. And I remember coming across WordPress and going, what is this? You know, oh, content management system. Cool, right? And I'm thinking it's a similar content management system that I was utilizing when I used to work for a record label, because the person that created the website provided it in a format that was like a content management system, and everything was kind of fixed on the website, and all you had to do was just add your latest posts, your new pictures, etc., and then you don't get basically mess with the design element of it. And I remember getting into WordPress, and I remember as soon as I went into the dashboard, I was like, what? I honestly, I found it so daunting, and I was like, how am I going to go about this? And I remember I was still fresh off utilizing HTML, right? And I was quite good with using HTML, because my initial website for HTML, Ethicon Productions, when I look back, and I think I might have it somewhere in my archives, I look at it, I'm like, you know what, it looks so tacky, but oh my gosh, I'm still so proud of it, because I literally created a HTML website from scratch. I even added flash images and things like that, like decorated it. And it's a fun process when you actually develop and you find, oh my gosh, this is so much easier. It's less time consuming, etc., that sort of thing. Hey, Ms. Dogan, welcome to the live stream. Welcome, welcome. We are going through the creation part 2 of creating a WordPress website. And so TGZ Magazine is basically, as you can see, a magazine website. Right now, you can't see what's at the top, but when I hover over them, you can see I've actually got a bunch of menu items, okay? So I've got the home page, and then the home page has got a sub menu on it, which is About Us, Latest News, and then that one's got a sub, which is Download Magazine, TGZ TV, which is basically the standalone, well, TV channel that I'm trying to, create. Check your Discord inbox when all right, we'll do. Will do. And then basically with the magazine, remember what I mentioned earlier on, that depending on the website that you're creating, you will be able to have a variety of elements in terms of the menu items. So this one being a magazine website, I had to add a different variety of items, right? So we don't have a portfolio on this one because it's a magazine. We don't need a portfolio, okay? We definitely have to have a homepage, which is pretty much what you're looking at right now. That's the homepage. I'm going to show you, this is the widgets I was mentioning, but I'm going to touch base on that. So that's the homepage. About Us is basically the About Us section. You know what? I haven't actually touched the About Us section for this magazine in a minute, so I don't even know if it's still the same. Okay, yeah, it's pretty much still the same. I think I might need to update it though. It's a very basic About Us, because in most cases they're not like, I don't really introduce people to the About Us of the magazine, because I always send people the press release for the magazine, or the media kit for the magazine. And then we've got the latest news. Now, the latest news being a magazine, anything that we post as a most recent post is tagged under latest news. If you remember, I mentioned the menu items in the previous video. I mentioned that the menu items could be literally things that are from the categories and things like that, right? And so I created a page called latest news for this one. And then within the latest news, I've basically made it so that it is the posts page for the WordPress website. Okay, that way any new post will automatically, regardless of the category, they're all going to go under latest news. The Download Magazine is literally a section that I created so that I can embed all the magazines that I created for people to be able to download. I'm probably going to have to be making some changes because Issue recently implemented some changes that I do not like. And so I'm going to be changing this very, very soon, in the sense that I'm not going to be using Issue as the portal for the magazines, but I'm actually going to be using, I'm going to be embedding the actual PDFs of the magazines on the website itself. So as you can see, these are some of the issues of the magazines that were published. And then in other parts of the menu, we've got things like current affairs. Now, I remember mentioning categories, right? So these ones are not actually pages, okay? All the way from where it says current affairs there, it's a category of a post that's been tagged with the name current affairs. And then the other subtags are things like agriculture, business, community, education, environment, finance, government, philanthropy, politics, real estate, sports, tourism, travel, and world news. And so depending on the article, it will be tagged accordingly. So for instance, if I go back to the current affairs, if I click on current affairs, everything that's been tagged under current affairs or anything under education, etc., because they are under current affairs, they will appear in current affairs. Sorry, if it will allow me to go. Can we go? Okay, there we go. Okay, so if you can see, everything that's under current affairs shows up. So you can easily narrow it down to look for anything that's been tagged under any category that's under current affairs, right? And as you can see, whilst you're on it, current affairs actually remains highlighted, and so do the others when you look at the drop down menu. Now, if I decide to basically, let's say I click on, let me click on tourism. Okay, click on tourism. Anything that's been tagged under tourism will show up. But not only does everything that's been tagged under tourism show up, because of the way the design element of this website is, I've also allowed for a slider at the top that's related to that particular category. So if I click on there, right, there we go. So under tourism, you've got all the articles under tourism. You've got Emirates Airlines, what to do in London at night, that sort of thing. Norwegian Cruise Line. There's lots of stuff to do with Emirates because Emirates Airlines actually do send us a lot of press releases. That's why. And then you've got things like current trends. So if I click on current trends, anything that's been tagged under current trends is what's going to show up. And again, if it's anything that's under current trends that's been tagged, it will show up again in the banner that's showing here. So, literally, and by current trends, it could be anything that people are talking about quite a lot and things like that. And as you can see, all the articles under current trends, according to date, in date order, kind of show up there. And so if I was to go to beauty, there's literally some subcategories under beauty, which is hair, makeup, skincare, and nails. So if I click on skincare and nails, I'm not sure if I've ever covered anything. It's saying 3 pages. So let's have a look. Oh yeah, you can see at the top there as well. Current trending skincare products, best food for your skin, top 5 nail polish brands for best results. And so the articles are there as well accordingly. And then if you want anything else, and what else do I have? I think I've got entertainment. Hang on, give me 1 second. Yeah, entertainment. Under entertainment, obviously there's loads of stuff, right? Art, celebrity news, dance, events, fashion, film, games, music, opera, etc. So let me click on music, for instance. So if I go ahead and click on music, all the articles to do with music will show up on the slider. Some of them will show up on the slider. And of course, if I want to go and view them, I can literally go and just scroll through anything to do with music. And so this is the design that I chose and the format that I chose in order to be able to manage a magazine website, right? And so, like I said, it varies from, website to website. So now if I go back to the home page, I just want to quickly show you something because I think that's finished now, so we can carry on. Now, if you can see the way this is set up and then the way this is set up, remember I mentioned to you about widgets, right? You can have widgets on the left, on the right, you can have widgets at the bottom, and you can have widgets in the middle. Actually, what you're looking at, this section here is a widget. Okay, these are all widgets because this has been designed in a way that I wanted it to look this particular way. So all the widgets are there. And then I've got widgets on the side, which is for the Facebook page, and then widgets where that allowed me to just put the Google coding, or Google automatically squeeze the adverts in, because before I used to manually add them. But because now the new system has allowed for the advert to actually squeeze into the widget area. And then you can see here, I added a YouTube widget on the side. I added a widget for Google Translate. So people who are viewing the website who maybe English is not their first language, you can actually translate it to another language. And that is from using a widget that you add onto the website. The section here where I've been able to embed watch TGZ TV, literally this is a widget that I was able to put, and then I was able to add the code for TGZ TV in order for it to be visible. And then obviously even here, this is a widget for Issue Magazine to show people that this is the next issue of the magazine that's come out. And then at the bottom here, we've got the widget that basically just talks a little bit about the magazine and how it's registered under ISSN, you know, and then the Twitter feed, as well as the Instagram widget. So these are widgets at the bottom here. Even if you've got some menu items at the bottom, there's the widget area. And then obviously using the automatic advert or Google advert embedding, it literally made sure it added the leaderboards, or should I say the leaderboards that go at the bottom here and there. See, that one's wider than that one. It added that advert there. And here's an advert as well. There's an advert here. I'm not sure why it's not showing, but there's an advert there. And then obviously this is an advert as well. Okay, so Google automatically actually did that for me. Unfortunately, they haven't implemented a system that allows me to add an advert at the back, because this website is actually designed to enable for me to actually even add an advert at the very here where you see like the red carpeting type feature. I can actually add an advert there so that if people click on it, it will take them to whoever's advertising's website. So if you're interested, guys, in advertising on TGZ Magazine, there is space at the back. Just request a quotation. I'll send it to you. You can actually advertise on this website, and you literally, it will take over the entire skin, as it's called. You can advertise in the skin of the website. Now, going back to WordPress, now that it's finished extracting all the files, remember I mentioned that I have to edit something within the website, right? The files. So now I'm going to go to the extracted folder, open that up. It's always like 2 folders deep in, so you have to do it twice. Come on, did that too quickly. There we go. All right, so this is what you're going to be faced with. Again, do not fret. You're literally going to be needing to copy and add all of this, by the way, to the root of the website in order to get WordPress to actually be functional. Okay, and so in this instance, what I'm actually going to be doing, the one that I'm going to be needing, should I say, to edit is WP config. Basically, it's WP configuration, but I'm used to just calling it WP config because that is literally what it's labeled as. So the one we're looking for is this one that says WP config sample.php, because that's the one that's going to be edited. And then it's also going to be renamed. And once you rename it, the sample version has to be deleted. And so in order to open it, obviously I do have an application on my computer that recognizes certain file format, and it tries to open it that way, but that's not what I'm trying to do. The best and simplest way to be able to edit your WP config is either, if you've got Dreamweaver or anything like that, you can open it with that, or you can open it with a TXT file. Now, if you've never ever heard of a TXT file, it's literally the text file. If you've ever seen this, let me just type that. Obviously, my head is kind of in the way, but I'm typing the words TXT. If you type the words TXT in the search bar on your Windows device, you will find that the notepad will come up. So notepad, the file extension for the notepad is actually TXT file. And that's basically what you want to open the WP config sample file with. Okay, so I'm going to click on it, and then rather than just double click on it to open, remember it's not going to open how I need it to. I'm literally going to go here where it says open, and I'm going to click on the arrow. When you click on that arrow, it offers you other options, right, on how to open the folder. Now it's offered me Cool File Viewer, Cool File Viewer Pro, and then search the Microsoft Store. But I'm just going to click on choose another application. It will say choose another app. It technically means choose another application. So click on that. When you click on that, it brings up this menu, again, showing the same options that it offered me, but that's not what I want. So I'm just going to click on more apps down here. You're always going to have that with Windows, and just click on the little arrow, and then it offers more apps. And obviously, depending on the types of applications that you have on your device, on your computer, it will offer other applications that you have. And as you scroll, you can see it's got the option for Notepad. That's what we're looking for. So I'm going to click on Notepad, and I'm going to click on OK. When I click on OK, it's going to open. It's gone and opened again on this side. So I'm going to bring it back over. Come on back. Come on. Okay. It's going to open. This is what's going to open. And again, don't feel, you might find this daunting because it seems to be saying quite a lot of things. Don't you worry. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. So in the wp-config-sample.php file that is now opened as a Notepad file, all you have to do, the things you're going to need to edit are the database username, the database password, and the database host name. You don't have to. You have to leave it as is. It says localhost. You have to leave that. But the things that need to change are, like I said, the username. So basically, the database name and the database username and the password. So the database name is that one there. Okay. And so there, where I've gone and highlighted in between the close brackets, or the quotation marks, that's where basically you have to put your database name. And I'll show you what that is in a moment. Okay. And then your database username, same thing. You literally have to replace that section that says username here. And because it's literally telling you what to do. So database name here, you have to replace that section. Username here, replace that word. Where it says password here, you have to replace that. Obviously, when I'm putting in the password, I'm going to push it to the other side of the screen simply because can't be having you guys see the password, because once someone has access to your password for your database, they can access it anywhere and literally collect all your data, and you don't want that. Okay. And so now, where do we get the username, the database username, as well as the database the database user, and the database name? Where do we get those from? If you remember, when I was on PHP My Admin, in the section, it basically showed the database that I deleted. So we have to recreate those, but I deleted them for the sake of this tutorial so that I can show it to you from scratch. Okay. And so we're going to click on site. When I click on site, I'm going to click on MySQL, and on MySQL, I'm going to create a database. So you can see here, it's giving me the option to create a database. So when I click on create database, it automatically create a database, and the database is created. You can see it's DBEIL3, but it's literally a whole bunch of code. Okay. And that's the database you created. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a user. If you can notice, it's noticed that I don't have a user to go with the database. Every database you create has to have a user that goes with it. So that's why it's prompting me here to create a user. The other option is I can ignore this section and click on user. That way I can create a user from there, right? And then bearing in mind as well, depending on the hosting company that you are using, some of them have got custom database names. Okay. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can rename your database name. But for me, honestly, I've gotten accustomed to just using the gibberish that it gives me. And I'm okay with that because I feel that that maintains the uniqueness of each database, So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create user, click create user on there. And it's literally taken me to that tab. Like I said, I could have ignored that place and just clicked on user, and then I would have been there. But even by clicking there, it's taken me to that tab. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a user. And then when I create a user, it's literally saying user, UT, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, it's a whole bunch of gibberish. It's created, and it's actually, it's actually automatically giving me a password. It's actually automatically giving me a password. So I've quickly moved it to the side because, again, I cannot make the password visible to the public. Okay. So it's created the user and it's created the password. So what you have to do is when it creates a password for you, you can change the password. You've got the option to do that. Okay, so for now though, I'm not going to change the password. I'm actually just going to copy the password. So unfortunately, you can't see this part because I can't show the password. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy the password, which I probably will change later because I feel like when people watch the rewind of this, they will actually be able to pause and see the password really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy the password because I'm going to be needing it in order to place it in this section. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize this so I can have the desktop only so you can see this a lot more clearly. Okay, so what did we start with? So the first thing is the database name, right? So the database name, I'm going to quickly bring that in front of you guys so you can see, because I've now hidden the password. The database name is this, okay? So all you have to do is literally highlight it and then copy, and then bring that back to the front, okay, the txt file, and the section that says database name, not user, database name, highlight it, living, the inverted, okay. What are those? I've never known the name. I don't know why I've never known the term. Maybe I'll find it out and I'll add it on Fun Fact Fridays. So just Control V. Okay, that's what I'm using. You can do Control V, or you can literally right click and then click on paste. And then it's copied, you've pasted the database name. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the user because it needs that as well. Remember, right now, because I've already copied the password, it's now hidden from view. I'm going to copy the user. Okay, I'm going to bring that out again. So this section that says database username, I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to click Control V. I normally click Control V, but because I already showed you how to right click and Control paste, you can literally use that for that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the password. So the password, I'm going to add it off screen. Okay. Password here. I'm just going to take it from my save. There we go. That's the password. Okay. So let me see if I can hide the password from view. That way I can be able to still show you guys what I'm doing. Okay, so I've hidden the password from view. So the next step that you need to do now, you need to save this particular document, yes? And so you have to go click on File. And then you're going to click on Save As. Okay, you're not going to click on Save. You have to click on Save As because we're about to change the name. Because in order for the WordPress website to actually function well, you have to remove the sample section of the word of WP config. Okay, and I'm going to show you that in a sec anyways. So click on Save As. And then when you click on Save As, it's literally going to take you back to the place where it was. Now, the reason why you can't see all the other files is because of the file type that it is, right? It's the TXT file. So don't worry about changing anything here. Leave the encoding to UTF-8. Please do not change that. Okay, very, very important. And then as it's saying, it's a WP config file, you need to basically click on there, literally make sure it's not fully highlighted, and you need to delete the word sample in the first dash. So backspace, 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 backspace. Okay. And then, and you can save it. If I'm not mistaken, I think I'm saving it as a TXT file. Remember, like I said, it's been a while since I've done this. There you go. Now it's going to save as a TXT file. So you basically have to remove the TXT file. Otherwise, it will save it as a notepad. But you click on all files. When you click on all files, you see all the other files, the PHP files. Because remember, you've already got the extension .p. I don't know why I'm pointing, like you can see me pointing here. You've already got the php.php section there, which means it will save it as a PHP file like these other ones here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. Okay, now that I've clicked on Save, you can see even the name has changed at the top. It says wp-config.php. So you can go ahead and literally close this. When you close that, you can literally go back to the folder. Now the wp config file that you had is that one there. This is the one that you've just saved. Okay, the one at the bottom, which got the word sample, delete it. Press the delete button, use the delete option at the top, whichever way, just get rid of it. Okay, so now literally that's done. And the reason for this, because I think it's important that I explain the reason for this. Remember, when you create your WordPress website, you are going to be implementing a lot of data, which is your database, right? You're going to be adding a lot of database, which is your theme and everything to do with your website. That's your database. But if you just try to add it to the website without adding the username and the database to link it to your hosting, you get nothing. And so hence the reason why the files that come with WordPress, you have to download them, unzip them, take the WP configuration file, make sure it has the username and password and database name so that it recognizes that it is connecting. It's showing like, I don't know what's going on with StreamYard of late, so that it can recognize that it's actually connecting your database to the hosting in order to make it visible and also enable it to recognize WordPress as well. So it's like a three-way type thing. And so now that this is completely done, what I tend to do is actually my particular company, well, the hosting company that I use allows you to actually upload an entire folder without zipping it. Now, some hosting companies will tell you that you have to add it as a zip file and then you unzip it whilst in there, which can be a bit of a tedious process, but mine does not force me to zip the file before uploading it to the site. So that's what we're going to do. We've got the database ready. Now we're going to go to the next stage. You have to excuse me constantly scratching my eye, like my lashes are really doing my head in this evening. And so this is the reason why I can't wear fake lashes, because I literally do this quite a lot. So basically on the site section, I'm actually going to close this because it's like a menu. So I'm going to go to, it's not going to close because I'm still selected on there. I'm going to click on security, close that. Can you close, please? Here, now close. Thank you. Okay, so on the site, I'm actually going to go to WordPress. Come on. WordPress, close the security section. And in the, sorry, my bad. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to go back to site. And then this time I'm going to come out of my SQL and I'm going to go to File Manager. So disregard the WordPress section. I'm just going to close that. So from my SQL, go to File Manager. Now, almost every hosting company has a File Manager section. Now, if you are choosing not to use the File Manager section, you can use another application. It's called FileZilla. Okay, FileZilla is basically, I know it sounds like Godzilla. FileZilla is basically an application that allows you to be able to access your files from your website or websites from your desktop without having to go to a browser. Okay, now in order to be able to utilize FileZilla, you will have to basically set up FTP accounts. Okay, FTP accounts, you can see there's nothing here because I've not set it up. FTP account is basically your account name at whatever the URL domain is, and then the password. So basically, you create a password for it, you create the account name. So for example, this is the Sims Realtor. I know it's putting my email address, which is crazy. Let's come on, there we go. I can literally write something like real estate at the Sims, and it will literally be at the Sims. So almost like an email address, but it's not. It's actually a username you're creating for the FTP. For those who don't know what FTP stands for, it's File Transfer Protocol, which basically allows you to transfer files from one part of the World Wide Web to another part of the World Wide Web, basically, in order for your website to be visible to the public. So that's what File Transfer Protocol does. And so I'm not going to go ahead and do this section because I feel like you won't be really needing this. This is a bit of a long-winded segue for anyone that's a beginner. You don't really need this. If anyone wants to learn more about FTP and things like that and getting FileZilla, etc., I'll be happy to do a standalone tutorial for that, but it's up to you. You can always let me know. So we're going to go ahead to File Manager. On File Manager, with the way it works on my hosting company, it's got basically the Sims Realtor, it's got logs, it's got web stats, and public HTML. Public HTML is the one that we're looking for because that's where we want our files to be shown to the public. So I'm going to go ahead and click on public HTML. And then when I click on public HTML, as you can see, it's got PHP error log. That's the error log that it logged earlier on. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to delete it because I literally don't need it. The action cannot be undone. Yes, just get rid of it. We don't need it, because your public.html folder should be completely empty because you don't have anything on it, right? And so, like I said, my SiteGround enables you to be able to actually SiteGround actually enables you to be able to upload folders without them being zipped. So I do like that about that feature. So that's what we're about to do right now. So I'm going to go ahead and see folder upload. So I'm going to click on folder upload, and it's going to take me to the file. So I'm going to go to Elaka, and then I created one for tutorials, specifically for this one, right? Tutorials. WordPress, you remember, it's got 2 folders deep in. So do that. And then if I'm not sure, I tend to do that. I'm like, okay, I've gone 1 too deep, too many. So this is the folder that I want. So I'm going to click on WordPress, and I'm going to click on upload. Says this will upload all files from WordPress. Only do this if you trust the site. Okay. And I do. So literally it's showing me upload 2,961 files to this site. Yes. And that's the reason why it took about 15 minutes, give or take, earlier on in order to actually upload. It does take a minute. So right now you're not seeing anything simply because it basically is going to be a minute before it finishes uploading all the files. So what I'm going to do in the interim is I'm going to continue showing you guys. You better be working, because I said okay. I'm going to wait for 2 seconds. Let me see. I'm hoping it's uploading them. I hate that I can't even see the small ones. Why is it taking so long? And I'm not going to do the file upload because that's going to take forever. Because the only other way to be able to do this is if I decide to take this, right click, send to zip. So I'm going to just send to part of it to zip just as a backup. That way, if it finds it easier to upload the zip, then I can unzip it within the file manager. So the zip, that was nice and quick, considering it took forever just to extract. Is it still going? Okay. I'm going to do file upload because a zip file is technically one file. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to click on open. Let's see what it does this time. Ah, it's uploading it. So for some reason, it struggled to upload the folder unzipped, which is fine. I'm not too fast. So long as there's a workaround that I can still get stuff done, I'm okay with it. Now, you're probably thinking, well, if it's a zip file, how are you going to get the site to be visible? The good thing is about the dashboard for SiteGround, it actually allows me to unzip folders within the file manager. So I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to right click on it. When I right click on it, you can see it's got the options, and this option here, it's offering me the option to extract. So I'm going to go ahead and click on extract. And when I click on extract, you see it's successfully extracted. That was really quick, don't you think? And so now that we've got 2 of the same folder, the zip folder is literally useless. So I'm going to go ahead and click on delete. That's fine. Okay, but at the same time as well, remember, I don't want the WordPress folder to be the one that's the main, because literally it still will not work for the website. Okay, because if I try to go back to, hang on, let me try to do www.thesims.realtor.com. Say, there we go. Access to this page is forbidden. This is what I was looking for, something along the lines of this. Okay, it's saying it's forbidden because it's technically got nothing. Okay, so I'm going to leave that open just so you can see what happens next. So right now, it's not fully set up because we're literally just looking at a folder, but we need to extract all the files so that they are all visible in the root. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click on there, and then I'm going to click on that. And these are the files that we need. So I'm literally going to, okay, so I literally pressed control. So I pressed control. So I clicked on the top one. Let me just do it again. I clicked on that one, and then I pressed on shift. I scrolled down and I pressed on shift, and then I clicked there. That way it selects everything at the same time. And then when I right click, I now want it to move everything. Okay, so when I click on move, I'm going to go browse. And then that way it will take me through where I need it to go. So I need it to go just directly into the public.html folder. So I'm just going to click on that. You can see it's been highlighted it. And I'm going to click on select. and then I'm going to confirm, and then it's going to transfer everything away from this WordPress folder, and it's going to all go to the main folder. As you can see now, this is empty, and then this one's just got WordPress. But when I click on this, the WordPress folder's up there. We don't need it anymore because it's, you know, it's basically of no use anymore. So I can go ahead and delete that, because all the files have now been added to the main section. So whenever you are adding your WordPress files to the root of your website, always make sure that this is how they look. Okay, they literally have to look the way they looked when you went into the WordPress folder. This is what needs to be in the root in this format. If you by any chance have it like this, make sure that you move the files out of this folder and then have them visible like this. And then any .wordpress folder afterwards, just delete it, because you need everything to be accessed for the website to be visible. And now this is now what takes us to the next stage, where we're going to register the website. Obviously you had the 403 forbidden error, right? But now, because everything is visible, including the WP config file with the database and the username, right? And so when I go here and I refresh, error establishing a database. Why? Okay, so this is where I have to double check how I connected the website. Oh, this is the part that I don't like sometimes. This does happen, by the way, sometimes. I'll be very honest with you. This does happen. If it's having a problem establishing a database, let me see. I'm trying it on this side because I want to see. It seems realtor. Okay, so somehow this one keeps bringing back the old one, which is very, very bizarre. It shouldn't, because I didn't maintain the old database. So let me try something, right? So basically, once your website is set, okay, this is not saying that this is set. Once your website is set, normally you can just go / and then WP -login, and then it will give you the login pages. But because it's not fully set up, and this is just something it's saved, it's going to go 404 not found. We searched the space, but we couldn't find the page you're looking for, of course, because it doesn't exist. Okay, and even if I do the admin, okay, cannot select database server could not be connected to, which means your username and password is okay, but the database could not be selected. Are you sure it exists? Interesting. Okay, so it's saying that the database might not exist. So the core of the issue is the database name, right? So I'm going to go to the database. There's a chance that I maybe didn't copy and paste it properly. So I'm going to go and I'm going to get this database. I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to go back to the PHP, my admin that I had on there. Okay. You don't have to worry about having to reinstall or re-add all of this. Literally all you need is the PHP config file. And the PHP config file, sorry, I actually thought it was my hair. I actually thought it was a spider. And so I'm going to quickly move this way because it's got the password. So I'm going to check the database name to make sure that I've got it correctly. Control V. Let me just do a comparison. Making sure I've got it all under control. Let me check that it's got a user. Has it already got a user? Okay, confirm. Okay, so there's a chance that I had not connected the database to the user. And so whenever you find that you're faced with a similar issue, you find that when you click on, again, this is SiteGround, it might be different from the hosting company that you're using. When I went ahead and I clicked on add user, it basically allowed me to connect the user to this particular database. Because when you have multiple users, you have to make sure you select the right user. I've only just got the one, so it offered me just the one option. But sometimes people will have multiple users for their database. And so you have to assign the right user to that particular database, because the user itself has the password and you need that password in order to be able to access the database. So I'm going to try it one more time and just double check before I re-up the thing. There we go. So it was the username was not connected let me see, the username was actually not connected to the database. So that's where the error was coming from. And so now, once you actually try to go to the website, okay, so basically once you've got that set up in the file manager, you've got them set up, all you have to do is literally go type in your domain name, and then the first thing you're going to see is this. What we're looking at right now is what you're going to see, okay? And then when you see that, basically, you find that it offers you, the first thing it offers you is English United States. I'm not American, so obviously that's not what I want. So I want English UK. So you can click on English UK. So depending on where you are, you can choose your language, etc., that sort of thing. You select it. I always choose English UK because that's my default. And then you click on continue. When you click on continue, it's going to take you to the next stage of you setting up. Can we hide this? Please stop. It's going to take you to the next stage of you creating your site and your site title, etc. Okay. And so this is when, like, how you want to set up your website. So this one is the one that I'm using as a sample for you guys, is the Sims Realtor, right? So it's the Sims Realtor. The Sims Realtor. And then the username that I want for the Sims Realtor is literally going to be the Sims Realtor as well. So your username, your main username can be that, or if you do not want the username to be the one that you use as the site name, in terms of like if you're blogging and you're posting, especially if it's a magazine, you can actually choose that your username is maybe admin or staff. Some magazine websites use the word staff, so that when you blog, it won't be the name, the whatever your website name is. In my case, the Sims Realtor, it will show that the person who made this particular blog post, is actually a staffer or whatever other name that you've given it. Okay, and then the next section is password. Now, Google and WordPress have got a habit of offering a password. And as you can see, it was initially showing, and it's a strong password, but guess what? I'm not going to go with that password. I'm going to go ahead and delete it completely. I'm going to add my own password. Okay, that's why I've gone ahead and hidden it, so no one can see the password that I am basically, hang on, I think I made a mistake. No, okay. So I've added the password that I need. As you can see, it's saying it's strong. And then the next step is the email address. Now, here's the thing. Your email can be your Gmail address or anything like that. But in our case, I want the email address to be one that's for the Sims Realtor. And remember, the hosting that I have includes email addresses, right? And so because I don't have a Gmail address that exists for the Sims Realtor, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create one from here that I can be able to utilize for the WordPress website. This advantage of this in being able to have your own email address connected to your WordPress website as opposed to a Gmail, again, anything was to ever happen to Gmail, you will still be able to have access to your email address. And guess what? You won't have to have any problems when it comes to retrieving your password and being locked out of your email. So that's a slight advantage. And so I'm going to go ahead to email. I'm going to click on accounts. And I'm going to go ahead and create one. Now, it keeps offering me my own password, my own email address, which is ridiculous. So we are going to go ahead. I'm actually going to call this one admin, actually. And then the password, okay, I'm not going to show you guys the password. I'm just going to go ahead and put the password in. As you can see, it's telling me the password is strong, so we're good. And I'm going to go ahead and create that email address. And once the email address is created, it's there. Actually, it seems I already created another email called agent. That's hilarious. Called agent at the Sims Realtor. Why did I do this? I swear sometimes I feel like I do things on autopilot. So we're going to use the admin one though, okay? So I'm going to use admin at the Sims Realtor.com. Okay, so bear in mind, guys, these are literally the stages that you're going to have to go through when you're creating your website. And then for those who maybe might use the more shortcut option, what's that? What am I saying? This one, let me show you what it is. No. For those who are basically wanting to use this option, okay, once it's taken you through the beginning, you will find yourself at a stage that looks very similar to this, where it asks you for your site title, your username, and the password, as well as the email address. Okay, and then here, search engine visibility, discourage search engines from indexing this site. I normally don't, you know, select that. I just leave it as is. It is up to search engines to honor this request. So I normally just leave it. And so now I have to go ahead and click on install WordPress. It's going to head and now install the site. So I'm going to go ahead and actually going to save this. If you're like me, I do tend to save it because there's way too many logins to remember. This will allow me to easily log in whenever I need to log back in next time. And so now it's going to say success. If you've done this the right way and according to the steps I've shown you, whether you've used the shortcut version, which is the quick version, or you've done it the manual way where you've had to extract the WordPress file, you've had to change the username and the database and the password, which SiteGround actually provides to you, or whatever hosting company either provides to you or makes you create your own custom versions of it, whichever way, so long as you've implemented those correctly and you've saved them and they match, okay, what you've put in the WordPress.config file matches the database from your hosting company, then you'll be able to get to the stage where you'll be able to see it says success, WordPress has been installed, thank you and enjoy. It gives you what your username is and then the password. It doesn't make it visible for security reasons. It just says your chosen password. And so here we're going to go ahead and click on login because that's what we want to do. And so as you can see, because I used the Google autosave, it saved the password and username. If you didn't, just go ahead and type the username in and tap your password. I tend to also click on remember me. That way it's easy for me to come back next time. And then go ahead and click on login. As you can see, it isn't maintained English UK. Okay, so when you first install your WordPress website with your custom URL, this is what you're going to be faced with. If you remember, when we looked at the other one, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this to the side slightly first, and I'm going to bring that one up, and I'm going to slowly bring these tools here so we can use the same tabs, okay? Come on, there we go. If you recall, when we did this one, I'm going to bring that all the way here. Actually, come here. This one was the one that, what's it doing? Let me try and refresh. Okay, let me just go straight to the dashboard. If it will let me. Come on. It's almost like saying beggars are not choosers. There we go. View pages. Yes. Okay. So if you recall, for the free version, the one that was theseamrealtor.wordpress.com, as you can see, it's got a lot going on menu-wise, right? It's got WooCommerce, Jetpack, and it literally constantly tells you, oh, in order to get this upgrade, in order to get this upgrade. And I think it's just a selling point for them, which is fair. I understand, you know. Whereas when you go to the WordPress.org version, first of all, you will not see WordPress in the URL. You will only see your actual URL. In this case, is thesimsrealtor.com. And then it will only have a few things available to you. It's going to have home. It's going to have updates, any updates like to plugins, any updates to the theme itself that it's given you. Because standardly, once you create your WordPress website, initially, it will give you its default theme, WordPress theme, which if you are good, you can actually customize it to the point where people won't even know that it's the original theme that came with the WordPress website. Okay, it gives you the posts. These are posts that you make when you're doing your blog posts, etc. It gives you media, if you've had any media like pictures, etc. Pages, comments, appearance, which is the theme, and then plugins. Obviously, add new or install any users. This is if you're adding any additional users or other people register on your website. It will show whether the user are subscribers, etc. That sort of thing. Then the tools, and I think we kind of briefly went through the tools and the settings for the previous one. So the tools for here for the WordPress.org version with the custom domain, it's got come on. Okay, let me click on it so that it doesn't stop disappearing. All right. Here it's got basically available tools, import, export, site health. Site health basically tells you if there's any plugins that need updating, if there's anything that might be causing errors within your website. That's what site health does. And then export personal data. This is you've got data on your WordPress website and you want to export it. It gives you that option. Theme file editor. Theme file editor basically, if you are a newbie, if you are not good with coding and things like that, you better leave that section completely alone, because theme file editor basically allows you to actually tweak the code directly, which if you don't know how to, you could literally break your entire website. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you know exactly what you are doing. And then plugin file editor. That's actually a new feature I've never seen before. I'm assuming it allows you to actually manually edit a plugin, which I think is really cool. As you can see, it even says, heads up, you appear to be making direct edits to your plugin in the WordPress dashboard. Editing plugins directly is not recommended, as it may introduce incompatibilities that break your site, and your changes may be lost in future updates. If you absolutely have to make direct edits to this plugin, use a file manager to create a copy with a new name and hang on to the original. That way you can re-enable a functional version if something goes wrong. And then you can either go back or click I understand, and I'm going to just mess with my plugins because I think I'm so smart, and then mess up with your website. That's an option. But obviously, if you're a developer, that sort of thing, it will allow you the option to actually, you'll be able to edit it without any issues. And then same with theme file editor. If I click on theme file editor, it literally gives me the same thing. Heads up, you appear to be making direct edits to your theme in the WordPress dashboard. It is not recommended. Editing your theme directly could break your site. Your changes may be lost in future updates. If you need to tweak more than your theme's CSS, you might want to try making a child theme. A child theme, I know it sounds funny, a child theme is basically a theme, a version of the theme that you can edit and mess with without messing with your main website. That's what they mean by the child theme. Some templates do come with child themes. That way you get to edit everything, update everything using your child theme. And then when you're ready, you can transfer all that database and coding and customizations onto the main website. And it says, if you decide to go ahead with the direct edits anyways, use a file manager to create a copy and a new name and hang on to the original. That way you can re-enable a functional version if something goes wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and click on I understand, and then you'll be able to see obviously the theme file editors. Right now it's a very basic theme that's installed. It's called 2023. So WordPress have got this thing, every time they release a theme, they release them annually. And so I remember having a theme for WordPress, and it was called 2010 actually, because I started using it around 2010. Yeah, 2013-ish, 2012 is when I started learning WordPress. And so it had 2010 and 2011. I don't remember 2012 for some reason, but I remember 2013. And so it actually literally updates them every single year, and it names them after that particular year. So this one that you're seeing says 2023 is because we are in 2023. So there should be a 2022 and a 2021. They've come a long way. Literally, they've always done this. So I'm not looking to edit this particular theme, but if you were to edit the theme, in most cases they're not, this is the section. If you want to tweak certain things like permanently, this is the place to go. But just remember that if you mess up, yes, you could be breaking your entire website. Okay, so it's only recommended if you know exactly what it is that you are doing. Okay, and so that's what part of the tools. And then the settings, let's go to settings. The settings basically is general writing, reading, discussion. Now I'm going to go through this because I do have to make certain changes in regards to this. And so the first thing we're going to do though, we're going to go to pages, because remember, if you recall from the presentation that I gave, in the presentation, I mentioned that basically you have to have your pages, right, created. And the pages are going to be part of your menu. So I've literally just gone and opened the presentation on the side so I can remind my brain what it is that we need to implement. Now, if you've noticed, it's got 2 pages already created. One of them is the privacy policy. And the privacy policy, we're going to implement it because it is important. And it normally goes in the footer when people want to click on it and look at your privacy policy. This is to do with GDPR. That's why you need a privacy policy. Every single website has to have a privacy policy. And then it's got sample page. Now, the sample page is the one that kind of sort of works as the about us section. So if I go ahead and click on view, this is what it says. This is a sample page. It's different from a blog post because it will stay in one place and will show up in your site navigation in most things. Most people start with an about page. What did I just say? That introduces them to potentially site visitors. It might say something like this: hi there, blah, blah, blah. I'm a bike messenger, blah, blah, blah. You get the point. Okay, so I'm going to go back this way. And then I'm actually going to do a quick edit. And so if you are trying to change maybe the name and the URL of a page or a post even, you can actually do things like a quick edit. So rather than clicking on it so that it opens the whole page to edit everything, we just for now want to edit the name. So I'm going to click on, you see when you hover over the name, it's got the options to edit, quick edit, bin, and view. Okay, we just clicked view so that we can see how it looks like. So I'm going to click on quick edit. Quick edit basically brings this up, and the name of the page right now is sample page, and I don't want that. So we want this to be the about us section. So I'm going to do it all caps because I do like menu items that are in all caps. The slug, which is the tag, basically, that one has to be in lowercase. And this one, I'm literally just going to change it to about because it has to match the title anyways. So about. And then if at all you are publishing to only a small group of people or certain people that you only want to be privy to that particular content, you can actually click on private, and it will be a private link that only when you show people the link, when you send it to them, they'll have access. Or you can put a password in. That way, whoever accesses the link has to input the password in order to access that particular page. Things like passwords are really, really handy if you've monetized part of your website so that people can only access a certain part if they pay. Hence, the password being visible to them after it's been proven that they've actually paid for the service, so to speak. Okay. And then obviously it's got the options for main page, parent page, etc. These ones are just main pages. You know, they don't have, they've got no parent pages to them. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on update. If this was something I was creating from scratch, it would have been, I would have been clicking on publish. But in this case, I'm clicking on update because I'm changing a previous title. So I'm just going to click on update. And there you go. You've now got update, and your about us page is now pretty much ready. All you have to do now is worry about the context of it. But right now, that is not the main focal point. I am going to be going into one of the pages so that you can see how to, you know, format and just prep your about us section. And so right now, the privacy policy, it's still a draft. It's not been published. So I can literally just do a quick edit on that, and then I can change the status from draft to published, and then I'm just going to click on update. Okay. And then once I do that, your privacy policy is actually now in place. And you can see here, it's literally saying privacy policy page. That's because it's a standard one that goes with a plugin. Only plugins, is that a moth? Only plugins will be able to offer you the option to be able to have almost like pages that have got almost like a prerequisite to it, like it's linked. You can't have it any other way. The privacy policy page is the privacy policy page, if that makes sense. And so with that, if you are looking to create obviously the additional menu pages or the pages for the menus, and this is how you're going to go about it. You've already clicked on pages. We're going to click on add new. When you click on add new, it's going to bring up a whole section. Yes, let's close this because I don't need that. So it's offering you the option to add a title. So in this case, we do not have a home page. We've got the about us page, which is fine, but we do not have a home page. So I'm going to go ahead and click on home. And then within the home page, obviously, it's giving me the option like to type, to choose a block, etc., that sort of thing. And so the home page for this one is, if I want to like a slideshow, bear in mind, I'm using the basic WordPress template. Okay, I've not added any complicated templates, anything that will basically complicate the situation to be more than it needs to be. It's better that I utilize this basic, simple WordPress 2023 template, because then I'm able to go through with you step by step on the things that you can implement. And then later on, if you decide you're going to buy a template that's a lot more complex, you are actually free to do that. And so in this case, excuse me, Ollie. Ciao, the ghetto. Okay, so I'm gonna select picture. So if you noticed, I showed it to you in the previous WordPress, right? If I'm trying to add content, you just have to click on that plus and you add it. As you can see here, it says type or choose a block. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a block by clicking the plus button. And then remember, it's got a whole plethora of them. But in order to save you time having to everything come down and scrolling up and down, if there's something you have in mind that you would like to be able to implement, in my case, it's an image. Okay, anything that in regards to images has shown up. So we've got image, gallery, cover, site logo, post featured image, media and text. So I'm going to try and get cover and see how that looks. Drag and drop onto this block, upload or select existing media from your library. So what I'm going to do is, remember, this is the first time we are using this, so the library is going to be completely empty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on upload. That way I can go to my, where is it? I'm going to go to my Sims folder. Sorry, I don't know why all of a sudden I'm like gassed up. It's because maybe I'm talking so much. And then I'm going to go to my screenshots. And then through the screenshots, I am going to basically be able to access my real estate pictures. And so in this case, one that I want to be as a cover, I'm going to get, remember, this is the one that I used for last time as well. I'm going to get the same one and I'm going to click on open. Okay, so now it's asking me to write a title. So in this case, I write, is it all caps? The Sims Realtor. Okay, the Sims Realtor. And that's how basically this one is a cover. I chose the option for a cover as the image. Okay, so this can be actually good, again, depending on the type of website that you are creating. Okay, and so for the home page, I'm literally going to leave this one as is, because remember, we haven't touched base on the widget area, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on publish and publish. Okay, so that has gone ahead and published it. It's even given me the option to view the page. So I'm going to go ahead and view it in another tab. And roughly this is what you have. Remember, we're still adding all the other bits and pieces. So far, we just got about and home, and they're not even in the order that we need them to be, correct? So I'm going to close that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this. So now you've got about, home, privacy policy. I'm probably going to put it down there, but that's because I haven't assigned the menu sections yet. Okay, and so in this case, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to create the other bits and pieces. Okay, the other one, we've got home, about is already there, and then I'm going to put latest, because with the latest news, blog, etc., it could be anything. So let's just put latest, because this, even if you're a blogger, you can actually put the word latest, because people, oh, this is the latest stuff that this person's getting up to in their blog. Okay, so latest. And then the next section, about news blog, which is latest. The next one is, let's publish this. Sorry, before I forget. Okay. I've gone back to pages. Sorry, I'm yawning quite a lot. It's way past my bedtime. About, home, latest. And then the next one is services. If you're offering services, you can add your services. So click on add new and then services. That's done. Publish. Okay. So I'm not going to add anything in the context areas because otherwise it's going to take forever. But I will show you briefly how to add certain things. Okay. For one page. So we go back to the pages. It's literally got services and then portfolio, shop. So the thing is, all these are actually really important to show you how. So I'm going to make this a portfolio, and publish. And then the next one is shop and contact, which I needed as well. Was it published? Okay, it didn't publish initially. Okay, we're going to add a new one. And then we've just done portfolio, right? So the next one is shop. They're one of the most important ones if you're going to be selling products. Shop. And then let's go back. shop, and then contact. That's it. So contact. Okay, we're going to publish that. There we go. So now that that is published, the next step that you're going to be needing is basically, come on. Okay, now that you've got all the pages there, you are basically going to be needing to put them in a menu format of some sort. Okay, so this is where appearance comes in, although in most cases appearance customized came under appearance. So let me see where else they've placed it. I don't see it anywhere. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to click on this to visit the site. And then I'm going to see what's going on. And then this one is giving me the option to edit site. So remember, in the last one, I noticed that WordPress had made quite a lot of changes, but it seems they made some really drastic changes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on edit site. I want to see what it gives me. Ah, okay, that's very cute. So basically, this new site way of editing is basically where it takes you to either find templates or edit the one that you are currently already have. And so let me just have a look just as a test drive. So right now it's got mind blowing, a blog about philosophy. Hello world. So I think this must be the, what's this one? I'm trying to figure out. Okay, let me go back. Templates, 404 search engine home. Okay, blog alternative. That's interesting. Let's put blog alternative. So it recognizes archive, blank, home, index. No, okay, it doesn't. Okay. Template parts, footer, header, post meta. Yeah. But what I want is for it to take me to the customization option. I know it exists. Okay, I know it exists. So I don't know why it's not taking me there, because that's where we're trying to head. But before we could do that, whenever you see these little red dots for updates, please always make sure you click on it either from there or click on it from this little thing that's kind of doing like recycling, because it's telling you basically that you've got an update somewhere pending. And so in this case, it's only Akismet anti-spam and spam protection, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and click on it, and then I'm going to update it. And this should update the plugin really quickly. And the red should disappear like it just did right now. Okay, and then you can go back to WordPress update page where it shows you if there's anything else that needs updating in terms of plugins, etc. And there's none because you've just done the one that was pending. Okay, so now the next part is to get the menu items in. Now to get the menu items in, let me see, we have to change where's the customizing to. That's so weird, because the customization section also not only does it allow you to edit the website, but it also, hang on, I'm a little confused why it's done with it. Where's the customization, dude? Literally, I was seeing it in the other one just the other day. Hang on, let me go to home. Just bear with me one moment, guys. Quick draft, site help. I'm so sleepy. I'm surprised it's not there. Welcome to Wordpress. Yes, I know. See, it gives you the option to draft an update, etc. But what I'm looking for, hang on, is it because it doesn't have? Let me see in what installed plugins it has. It's got Akismet and Hello Dolly. So it hasn't installed Jetpack or anything like that. Those ones you have to manually install them to it, which doesn't take too long. Honestly, it's quite an easy process. But what I'm trying to get to is the customization, and I'm not understanding why the customization is not being given as an option. Okay, so before we get to that, in that case, whilst my brain tries to figure out why it's missing, I'm just going to quickly show you in the settings how to set up the settings, because in as much as we've now added the whatchamacallit, the pages, the settings actually does have an influence on how pages appear, how posts appear, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and click on settings because I want all the menus to show up here. So the settings literally tells you everything you need to know. Site, the sim realtor, tagline. This says just another WordPress site, but that's not what we want. So the tagline is going to be property. Okay, and that will do. And then the WordPress URL, it's already got that there, thesimsrealtor.com, site URL, thesimsrealtor.com. As you can see, the HTTPS is already there because I made sure that it stayed secure. Now, if your site that you're visiting is not secure, this little thing is not going to show up as is. It's actually going to have like a bit of a red next to it to show that, look, you need to check this because it's quite dangerous for database systems. And so administration email, it's already added it for me because remember I added in the beginning, admin at the Sims Realtor, and then it's asking who can register. You can choose to say you want new users by default. Site language is where you can change that. And so membership, I say anyone can register. Okay. Anyone can register. It doesn't matter who they are, but they have to register basically. So that's how we've done it for membership. And by that, I mean, if you implement something to do with memberships, you can basically allow all kinds of people to come in and join in. But if you don't want that and you want to stick to a particular niche, that's an option too. And then the time, it basically shows you how you like the time zone to be shown. I personally wasn't really that fussy, but for those who are, literally you choose your date format, your time format as well. Okay. And then when the week starts, obviously I start my week from Monday, and then I'm going to go ahead and click change. Okay. And that's just for the general. And so when I move further up and click on writing, remember, these are all the bits and pieces that I needed. As you can see, the writing says the category is uncategorized. And that's because we haven't added any tags to allow for a wider variety of default post categories to post to whenever you post something new. The default post category, though, should be basically latest news or latest. That way, everything that comes through is always tagged with that and people can easily find it. Okay. And then the post via mail. The post to WordPress by email, you must set up a secret email account with POP3 access. Any mail received at this address will be posted. So it's a good idea to keep this address very secret. You have 3 random strings you could use. So those are the strings used to create it. And so the mail server, obviously, you know, the mail server, pretty much what it says on the tin. The mail server is basically the hosting company that is hosting that particular email address or email or domain name, should I say. So you put it there and then login and password. And again, uncategorized because we haven't, you know, added the extra tags to it. And then the next section is writing. Let's go to writing. Okay, writing looks very, very similar. Wait, have I just come from writing? Sorry, the next one is reading. I was going to say it looks very similar to writing. That's because you're in the wrong section. Duh. And so reading. Reading basically is how people are actually going to be reading stuff on your website. So the first one, it says homepage display. How long have I been going? 2 hours and a half. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be stopping soon. Like I said, this is going to be multi-parts because it is quite a lot to dissect. And so your homepage settings, basically your latest posts, or a static page. A static page is basically if you decide to choose the homepage to be the static, that better be a moth and not a spider. Your homepage basically to be a static page where best explanation I can give you is this. So my homepage is a static page because I don't have posts coming down it, right? So it's a static page. Another example of a static page that I can actually happily show you is EPCreativeMedia. This is my my Sims website. As you can see, it's got a slider there, but it's also got a static page. Okay, so whenever you choose static page, it's a page where maybe you want to decorate things and add things, you know, the way you want them. That's the static page. So Teachers Magazine's got a static page. I'll even take it a step further if it won't play up, because I know this website sometimes, every time I update it, there's so much. This one is a lot more robust. That's why I wouldn't even show you the back end of this one. But this one has got a static page as well. It's just got widgets everywhere, etc., that sort of thing. But the website for the EPCom group, which is the main company that hosts TGZ Magazine, The Sims, and everything, this is the website. And this is a static page, basically. Okay, so when he's talking about a static page, it's pretty much that. So that's how you want your homepage to be. But if you don't want it that way, you can choose that it has your latest posts. I always would recommend a static page for the homepage. That way you can add all the bits and pieces to kind of showcase what your brand is all about. So I'm going to go ahead and click on static page. And then it says, okay, if your homepage is going to be having a static page, can you select which page your homepage is going to basically have that from? So the homepage is going to be the one that says home. Okay, remember we've added the pages, right? And so they're on the list now. So the home page is obviously going to be the home page, and the posts page, which is latest news, blogging, etc., is going to be the one that says latest. That way, no matter what, it automatically posts the latest news tagged with latest onto the blog. You know what I mean? Onto that particular page. And then here, blog pages to show at most. Okay, so the most blog pages, for me, 10 might seem really good, but I prefer to reduce it in number. So 5 posts. That way they can just click on the next page rather than have this infinite scroll. I feel like that can be off-putting. Syndication feeds show the most recent. Again, it's saying 10 items. I'm going to reduce it to 5 items. And then for each post in a feed, this is if a post is trying to preview, please include, it says full text or excerpt. I would rather have an excerpt. You do not want people to read your entire article and then not even visit the website because you provide the full text wherever it is that you posted it, right? And so excerpt is always better. And then here, search engine visibility, discourage search engines from indexing. That is fine. And so now we can go ahead and click on save changes. Okay, so now those changes have been completely saved. If I was to try to go to EPCreativeMedia, the Sims Realtor, sorry. Also try to go to the Sims Realtor. Look at me with all caps again. The Sims. Okay, I'm missing an S. The Sims Realtor.com. Okay, and this is what I have. So now you've got your menu items. You can see that all up here. Privacy policy has to move because it belongs at the bottom. And then there's the picture added that says the Sims Realtor. And then obviously here's the Sims Realtor, proudly powered by WordPress. Proudly powered WordPress is because the template itself is a WordPress template. So sometimes WordPress want to be credited for their work, which is fair, you know. And so in this instant now, I'm going to move on to, hang on, where was I? Okay. That's the reading side of it. Okay, click on save changes. Changes have been saved, and that's fine. Now the next section is discussion. Discussion is conversations, right? With the discussions one here, attempt to notify any blogs linked to from a post, allow link notification. So you just have to go through this section to see what you do and do not want to maintain for your website. So allow link notification from other blogs, allow people to submit comments on new posts, which is fine. Comment author must fill out name and email. I always recommend that because then it allows you to stop bots from just registering. And then users must be registered and logged into comment. Yes, that way you don't have some random strangers living rubbish on your website. Automatically close comments on posts older than 14 days or whatever. I would say older than 365 days. Okay, so we can select that one. And then show comments cookies, opt-in checkbox, allowing comment author cookies to be set. Yes, that's fine, leave as is. And then this one says enable thread nested comments. So for others who are not sure what thread nested comments is, it's basically when you have comments there and then some comments that come underneath it. Okay, like someone's made a comment, other people are replying to that comment, not the initial post. It creates like nested comments, hence it's been called nested comments. So I've put 5 levels deep. Break comments into pages with 50 top level comments per page. So break comments into pages with 50 top level comments per page. I would say I want to reduce that to 25. Okay, top level comments per page, and the last page displayed by default. Comments should be displayed with older comments at the top of each page. No, I want newer ones at the top of this page. Okay, so that's fine. And then the next section is email me whenever anyone posts a comment, whenever a comment is held for moderation. I think that's decent enough to be emailed. And then before a comment appears, comment must be manually approved. Comment author must have previously approved comment. Okay. I think I'll say comment author must have a previously approved comment. Okay. That way, you know, it's someone safe who's going to come and talk rubbish basically on your website. And then comment moderation, basically when a comment contains any of these words in it when a comment contains any of these words in its content, that's it, in its content, author name, URL, email, IP address, or browser user's agent string, it will be held on moderation queue. One word or IP address per line. It will match inside words. So press will match WordPress, for example. So you just put in all the words that you feel you don't want people to actually type into your blog, especially insults and things like that. You can literally type them all in. If someone tries to type, literally they won't be able to post their comment because it's using wording that's been forbidden on the website. And then here it says disallow comment keys. When a comment contains any of these words in its content, author name, URL, email, IP address, or browser's user agent string, it will be put in the bin. On word or IP address per line, it will match inside word. So press will match WordPress, so to speak. Okay, and then avatars, you can actually change your avatar using Gravatar. If you remember, I mentioned the registration that you, unbeknownst to you, might have registered. There's a lot of people who actually don't know that they're registered with Gravatar because maybe they're not paying attention. That one is the one I've actually used before. So it says for users without a custom avatar of their own, you can either display a generic logo or a generated one based on their email address. Okay, so that one is kind of self-explanatory. Okay, here maximum rating, by the way, almost avatars, maximum rating, G suitable for all audiences, PG possibly offensive, usually audiences 13 and above, R intended for adult audiences above 17, X even more mature than above. So you can even change so that people know what type of website you are. So if you're a website where basically you've got loads of adult themed things, yeah, I definitely would put it probably under R, you know, but it's all completely family friendly, etc. You can just put it on all audiences. So it's like doing a rating for a movie, etc., that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save changes because the next step that we need to go and look at is media. And as I'm going out, you can see I'm literally editing what needs to be edited because that's what you'd have to do the first time you install the WordPress website for yourself. So thumbnail size is fine, medium size, large size, that's fine. So I don't need much for media anymore. So I'm going to move on to permalinks. Permalinks, basically, if not set up, when you first set up your website, you will find that your posts and your pages to a degree, not just pages, actually your posts will not have a custom name to it. It will just be like code. Okay, so the idea of utilizing the permalinks section when you're setting up your website is to ensure that you've got your custom domain name. So here it says date, day and name. So literally put the day and name, and I don't want that. Okay, so what we are after is just the post name. We literally just want, we don't numeric, we don't month and name, we don't plain, we don't want custom structure. All we want is that one, post name. And so once I've selected that one, category based, tag based, if you like, you may enter custom structures for your categories and tag URLs, for example, topics, that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click save. Okay, after that save is clicked, we're going to go to privacy. Now, privacy, this is where basically you have your privacy policy. Do you remember? Okay, so in here it says create a new privacy policy page. change your privacy policy page. So the privacy policy page is the privacy policy page. So we're just going to go ahead and click on use this page, and that will automatically be the privacy policy with all the policies. You can, I think you have to read through it. If you want to use the WordPress privacy policy page, you do have to read it and make sure that you remove anything that's not aimed at your company or custom for your company or your branding, basically. And so that's the site tools, the site settings, okay? The tools, I think I've already gone through this: plugin, file editor, theme, erase, personal data, etc., that sort of thing. And so after this, now you are pretty much ready to start adding the other elements. So in my notes, I put you have to create your pages, you have to set up Jetpack, set up WooCommerce, set up your shop, and set up your contact form. Okay, so the next part is actually to be able to go to your plugins and actually install the necessary plugins. So if you just click on the word plugin, it will basically allow you to start installing. Now, what I'm going to do now, because I'm looking at time and being, you know, I don't want to end up falling asleep and stuff like that, I'm going to show you how to set up Jetpack. And then tomorrow I'll be back where I'm going to show you how to set up WooCommerce, and then we're going to set up the shop, and we're going to set up the contact us page. Okay, so for now we're going to set up Jetpack, and then that way I can show you the widgets, etc., that it actually helps implement. So we're going to click on add new, literally new. And whenever you click on new with WordPress from the plugins, okay, this is on the left hand side panel, you got the plugins. Click on plugin, you can click on new at the top like I just did, and then it shows you its recommendations. But if what you are looking for is not amongst the recommendations, all you have to do is click on search plugin and start typing the name, and then it will start searching for the name that you're after. In our case, what we're looking for is right there. Okay, it's Jetpack. So Jetpack depletes secure backup speed and growth. Okay, so Jetpack is what we want to install. So I'm going to click on install. So as you can see, it's installing. But also what we want is health check and troubleshooting. Remember, there's is it health check section? It's in conjunction with this health check troubleshooting. So I'm going to go ahead and click on install that one. If you are creating a website for a community, that sort of thing, like I said, your own, you know, Facebook, your own social media kind of platform with a community, you can add things like BuddyPress. When you add BuddyPress, you literally will be able to create a community. When I say you will, like, it's amazing, actually. It allows you to ask people to join. And when people join your community, they will be able to have what literally looks like Facebook. They can add a cover picture, they can add a profile picture, they can create groups within there, they can create posts, add posts, upload videos, upload pictures, they can tag people, they can see what's going on in activities. So BuddyPress works really, really well with WordPress. I'm surprised that it's been given only 4 stars and only by 360 people. No, I mean, let me not say anything because I don't go ahead and rate these things. I should, you know. But if you are looking to create like a forum, which is different from a community, a forum which works like Reddit and things like that, or I think Lipstick Alley or whatever that one's called, BBPress is the one that will help you to do that. Okay, so that's kind of like an idea, just to give you an idea. So right now we have gone and we've installed Jetpack, we've installed health check, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on plugin again, literally the word plugin, and it's going to show me the plugins. Now it's got double the plugins, right? Remember, all the plugins, including Akismet and Hello Dolly, have not been activated. They've been added, but they've not been activated. Okay, and I'm not going to activate Akismet and I'm not going to activate Hello Dolly, to be honest, because I don't really need them. The ones I want to activate are the health check and Jetpack. So I've gone and selected both of them. With both of them selected, there's a drop-down menu here at the top that says bulk actions. Click on the arrow and then click on the word activate, because that's what we want to do. So if you want to delete them, disable them, the option to do bulk of those things is actually there. In our case, we want to click on activate, and then we're going to click on apply. Once you click on apply, it's going to go ahead and activate it. Now, Jetpack being Jetpack, as soon as you activated it, it's asking you to set it up. Okay. Over 5 million WordPress sites are faster and more secure. So it's literally asking you now to go ahead and set up Jetpack. So yes, you have to go ahead, click on set up Jetpack. It's quite good in the sense that it does give you like, it walks you through quite a lot of the elements. So right now it's just loading. So I'm going to patiently wait for it. Okay. Patiently wait for it to show up. Okay. Right now, completing setup. Jetpack is finishing setup. Okay. It's showing the name of the website, the Sims Realtor. Now, here's the thing. If you remember, the Global Zambian is the one that I used to connect WordPress.com. And that's the one I use to basically have like a main control panel for all the different WordPress websites that I created. And so if you've already registered with WordPress.com, all you have to do is click on approve. If you don't have a WordPress.com, it will actually ask you if you want to sign up for one or you want to sign in if you've got one. As you can see at the bottom, it's literally asking me sign in as a different user. That's if I want that account connected to a different user, but I don't mind it going under the Global Zambian because that's where I keep all the other Jetpack connected websites anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and click on approve. Okay, so it's now authorizing your connection, etc. I hope it doesn't take too long though. Okay, because it's now going, it's midnight. There we go. Just as I literally took a drink, which was needed. Okay, so now it's asking you to explore Jetpack. Now, Jetpack is like a kid in a candy store type place because there's so much going on, but you do have to be careful depending on what you choose that you want out of it. You can either choose a paid service or just move with the free one. We are literally going to maintain the free one for now because honestly, I don't really pay for Jetpack. And so click on that just to get rid of it. And so now it's offering you security, complete bundle, which is security, everything in one. And I think it's offering it at £24.95 for the year, or $24.95 for the year. I'm not sure if that's the accurate price per month for the first year. I thought so. $24.95 per month for the first year, and then afterwards it's $49.95 in dollars. So it's asking you for that, but we don't want any of that. We don't want that either. And then it's got other products like AI. And all of these, if you notice, it's literally giving you the option to pay $1 for the first month, then $14.99 a month for social. I'm not sure why it's charging for social, but if I'm not mistaken, I think even if Jetpack, what's it called? Jetpack, yes. Even if Jetpack offers you the option to connect your social media, because I think they've tried to look for other ways to generate an income, they've made it that you can only make 30 posts per month that will auto share to social media. Then afterwards, if you want to auto share more than 30 posts within a space of a month or 4-week period, whichever way, you have to pay extra for that. So that's a new element. That's something they recently implemented. Okay. All the way to site search, video press, CRM entrepreneur, stats, Akismet. You see Akismet as well. Even if it's free, to get certain features out of it, it wants to charge you. Scan, Wordpress, which is also for your security, etc., that sort of thing. But we don't want any of this. Okay. So we are just going to go ahead and keep scrolling. And then it says, need more info, compare all product bundles, explore Jetpack agencies. No, still not sure. Start with the free version and try out our premium products later. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Start with Jetpack free. Okay. So now that we've installed Jetpack, if you notice, it's taking us straight back to the dashboard, but this time it's taking us to the dashboard for Jetpack. So even if you've got your main dashboard up there, Jetpack's actually got its own dashboard. And so as you can see right now, it says, tell us more about the Sims Realtor. I build or manage this site for a client. This is an e-commerce site. This is a personal site. And so I'm going to say this is an e-commerce site because we're going to supposedly selling real estate for the Sims. And then I'm going to click on continue. And then the next step says, would you like WooCommerce to power your store? And then you can click on not now or install WooCommerce. So I'm going to go ahead and click on install WooCommerce. And this is just to help you guys out. If you decide you're going to use WooCommerce, you can use this opportunity to actually be able to install it. And then here it says, would you like downtime monitoring to notify you if your site goes offline? Yes. Enable downtime monitoring. I have downtime monitoring enabled, and I love it because whenever any of my sites are down, it sends me an email telling me this site is down, this site is down, that sort of thing. That way I'm able to quickly go check to see like what's going on. That way, if it's really down, it allows me to act fast and fix anything before more customers basically come to the website. And so here, yes, enable downtime. And then would you like related posts to display at the bottom of your content? Now, this one is optional depending on the theme that you have. Some themes already have their related, content section, and then Jetpack is offering it. But because we're doing this website from scratch and we're using the very basic of basics, we're going to enable related posts. Okay. And then here it says send subscribers to your latest send subscribers your latest blog post via email, and then enable newsletter. Okay, so when you click on enable newsletter, later on it's going to literally ask you to try and input the stuff for the newsletter. And then this one says, would you like your site to load faster? Of course. So this is where you get to choose Site Accelerator. It says faster sites get better ranking in search engines and help visitors on your site longer. Jetpack will automatically optimize and load your images and files from our global content delivery network, which is the CDN. So enable Site Accelerator, yes. And then here, never lose your site, even if your host goes down along with your backups. Wordpress backup is built specifically for WordPress and has done over 270 million backups to date. We store copies of your backups in our secure cloud, so your content will never be lost. If your site goes down, you can restore it with one click from desktop or the Jetpack mobile app. WordPress backup is so easy to use, no developer required. And so obviously this is the Jetpack Extra that it's trying to sell you. It says get 50% off your first year. No, we're not trying to pay for anything right now. So we're going to click on not now. Okay. And then now it's taking me to the next section, which is recommendations. So you can see, nice work. Let's recap what we enabled for the Sims Realtor. WooCommerce, downtime monitoring, related post, newsletter, Site Accelerator. Jetpack puts WordPress in your pocket. The Jetpack mobile app gives you everything you need to grow and manage your WordPress site anywhere, anytime. So it's basically encouraging you to download the Jetpack plugin for use on your phone and your device. You can check things on the go. So that's entirely up to you if you want to go ahead and use that Jetpack. And so after that, now you can just literally go to My Jetpack. When you click on My Jetpack, if you go there, yep, it's turning. We just have to wait for it for a few seconds. There we go. My Jetpack basically allows you to see stuff that you've already installed, etc., that sort of thing. Manage your Jetpack products. There's Wordpress, allowing you to purchase, scan, purchase, boost, install, boost, easy speed optimization plugin. Search, it says start free. Then later on it charges you. Statistics, Jetpack AI, as well as this is Akismet, Video Press, and Social. So yeah, the next stage, did I jump? Let's click on settings. Let's see. I'm not sure if I jumped. Okay, so when I click on settings, welcome to Jetpack Security, Growth, and Performance Tools for WordPress Business. So here it says continue to Jetpack. When I continue to Jetpack, it takes me right to security. Downtime monitoring, get alerts if your site goes offline. We'll let you know when it's back up to. Okay, firewall, protect your site with Jetpack's web application firewall. Okay, so I'm gonna end up basically enabling that. And then the firewall, protect your site with Jetpack's web application firewall. I will protect your site with Jetpack's web application firewall. Automatic rules, protect your site against instructed traffic sources with automatic security rules. Allow block list, block or allow specific request IP. Share data with Jetpack, that's fine. And then this one is grayed off. I don't know why. Let me see if I do that. Yeah, okay. This one's grayed off because I think it doesn't matter. So share data with Jetpack is fine. And then for the rest of it, it's literally asking you to upgrade to the, obviously the supposedly, the paid version. Brute force protection. Enabling brute force protection will prevent bots and hackers from attempting to log into your website with common username and password combinations, which was what I was mentioning earlier on. And so always have brute force protection selected. So this is in the Jetpack settings, by the way, just in case anyone feels lost where we're at. This is in the Jetpack settings. And then afterwards, you've got WordPress.com login. Okay. Add an extra layer of security to your website by enabling WordPress.com login and secure authentication. If you have multiple sites with this option enabled, you will be able to log into every one of them with the same credentials. Okay, so allow users to log into this site using WordPress.com account, which is good because I think it's important. And then it says here, as soon as I did that, it obviously activated these as well in order, they're no longer grayed off basically. Match accounts using email address. Require accounts to use WordPress.com's two-step authentication. So if you're trying to maintain a site that you want to be highly secure, yes, literally tick all of this at the bottom or tick all of this. Okay. And then the next step is your statistics. Obviously, you don't really need the stats. But we're just going to go through this menu. Okay. The next one is performance. So this is, remember, we're setting this up. Performance and speed, we did that already. Lazy loading images will improve your site speed and create a smoother viewer. I always click that one. Actually, enable lazy loading for images. Video press. Engage your visitors with high resolution ad-free videos. Save time by uploading videos directly through the WordPress editor with Jetpack Video Press. You can customize your video player to deliver your messages without the distraction. Now, here's the thing. This is all well and good to enable video press, but it requires an upgrade. Okay, it literally requires an upgrade if I'm not mistaken. So if I do that, enable video press, privacy, restrict viewers to members of the site. Let's leave that out. That's fine. It's not needed. And then the next section is writing. The writing, again, it's got media. Create full screen carousel slideshows for the images in your posts and pages. You can go ahead and do that and select that. Show photos, EXIF metadata in carousel when available. Show comments are in carousel. Show comments are in carousel. And then this one, you've got the option of the white or black. Okay. So this is for you to create full screen carousel slideshows for the images in your posts and pages. Carousel galleries are mobile friendly and encourage site visitors to interact with your photos. Okay. And then the next one is composing. Enable the option to copy entire posts and pages, including tags and settings. Yes. Write posts or pages in plain text, markdown syntax. Yes. Use the latex markup language to write mathematical equations and formulas. Yes. Compose using shortcodes to embed media from popular sites. Yes. Okay. And then the bottom was already selected. Jetpack blocks give you the power to deliver quality content that hooks website visitors without needing to hire a developer or learn a single line of code. That's what I was trying to say. Okay. So the next section is custom content type. Remember, we talked about the portfolio and testimonials. This is where you can either select them or deselect them. I'm not going to go ahead and select them for all intents and purposes. Theme enhancements, infinite scroll, create a smooth, unique, and a smooth uninterrupted reading experience by loading more content as visitors scroll to the bottom of your archive pages. Okay, and so this is where you can use the site editor to try and edit the CSS, but this is not too fussy right now. Widgets. Remember, I mentioned widgets. So widgets, make extra widgets available for us on your site, including subscription forms and more. Yes. Enable widget visibility control to display widgets only on particular posts and pages. Yes. We definitely want the widgets because remember, we need them, what we can be able to put on the sides or on the bottom of the website. Post by email. Post by email is a quick way to publish new posts without using your site. We'll generate a unique email address for you to send your content to, which will then appear on your site, just like any other post. It's just gone midnight, which means I need to be coming to a close because I am officially clocking nearly 3 hours. And so post by email is basically where whenever you post certain things, you can actually be able to post. If you're on the move, for instance, you can literally send the post to that email you create, and then it will automatically post to the website. But if truth be told, this is the least of your worries when you are a newbie and you're creating your website. So I might maybe go into detail about this at a later stage, but you don't need this right now, if truth be told. And then here, WordPress.com toolbar. The WordPress.com toolbar replaces default WordPress admin toolbar. No, I never enable it because I'm quite happy with the one I have. So I'm leaving it at that. So I'm going to go scroll back to the top and I'm going to click on sharing. Sharing, this is where the socials come in. Yes. So Jetpack social connections. Connect your website to the social media networks you use and share your content across all your social accounts with a single click. When you publish a post, it will appear on all connected accounts. Now, I'm not going to click on that simply because the Sims Realtor does not have its own social media. If I do connect it, it's likely I might create it to EPCreativeMedia. However, because nothing is ready on the site yet, I am going to avoid doing that. But what I will do is I'll log into my other websites and I'm going to show you how the connection for social media works. Okay. For the Jetpack, it's literally going to be just like this. And then sharing buttons, add sharing buttons to your posts and pages. Now, here's the thing you have to be very careful. Some templates, some themes for WordPress websites come with its own versions of the sharing buttons. Okay. And if it does come with those, do not select this. But if it doesn't, you can go ahead and select it. That way, the sharing buttons at the bottom for people to easily share your content to other places. And then we've got like buttons. The like button is a way for people on WordPress.com to show their appreciation for your content. Yes, the like button, that is perfectly fine. You can go ahead and select that one. Now, back to the Jetpack socials, automatically share. Obviously, I did not select that because it's going to take me to the next place. But down here, it says configure your sharing button. So when I click there, it's going to open a new tab, which is just done. And right now it's taking me to tools. So I'm seeing the Sims Realtor and something similar to what I'm already seeing in, where's that? Over here. Okay, but it's the WordPress.com version of it, right? As you can see, the ones that it's got little arrows, whenever you click on this, it literally takes me back to this main dashboard. That's why they're like that, because you can't edit them with it WordPress.com. And so here, it's basically, remember, I clicked on configure your sharing buttons, right? So it's taking me to those sharing buttons. And so when it comes to sharing buttons, you get to decide which ones that you want to appear at the bottom of your posts and pages, etc., that sort of thing. It even asks you to put your Twitter username, even if Elon Musk is not deserving. Yeah, not deserving at all. So it says show like and sharing buttons on post page and pages. You don't want it to be on the front page. You don't want it to be media. And your products, you go back and forth. The reason why I say go back and forth with products is maybe see how your setup of your products are first, and then see if it's worth having a share button at the bottom. Because if not, it will just mess up your formatting for your products. But if not, then you can be able to just, add it to your products as well. And then you save the changes. And then the next section is how you want the icons to show up. So allow readers to easily share your posts with others by adding sharing buttons throughout your site. So in this case, it's chosen icons and text. I am actually just going to do icons only because I feel like that's easier. And then once you've done that, you can see it's got Twitter and it's got Facebook, right? And it's got this option that says edit sharing buttons. So click on edit sharing buttons. And as you can see, Twitter and Facebook are highlighted, and that's why they're showing, they're visible there. And so which other ones are possible, are popular? So we want to post to email, no, not to email too, but not just as yet, to WhatsApp, because that's popular right now. Some people have got Telegram as well, so you can choose Telegram if you like. It's got the option for Reddit. Yes, you want to post to Reddit, Tumblr, Pinterest. Okay. I think Mastodon is a new one. It's like I'm hearing this being mentioned quite a number of times. Everything else, honestly, and then the others obviously can be the ones that hang on to the side. So this is fine. You can reorder them, and by reordering them, you can literally just move like this. So in this case, WhatsApp should be the one that's in the front, and then Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Tumblr, Pinterest, Mastodon, yes, and then close. And so now you've gone and chosen all your icons. And then if you want to avoid having a long list of icons to share to or social media platforms to share to, this is where the add more button comes in. So if I click on the add more, okay, it will show me what I want to add, right? So in this case, we've already got WhatsApp up there, so we don't need that. Twitter, Reddit, Tumblr, as well as Pinterest and Mastodon. Okay, that's the Mastodon. So in this case, the ones that we want in the drop-down menu are basically print, email, LinkedIn, Pocket, Telegram, Nextdoor, and Skype. Okay, and then I'm going to click on close. And so whenever you see it says the more thing, that's literally what this is. You've now created an option for the more. And so we've chosen icons only, and then we've asked to show the like button. So the like button is at the bottom here, and then just go ahead and click on save changes. Okay, and then it says settings saved successfully. So I repeat, whenever you want to add your buttons that you are sharing to social media platforms, you have to click on edit sharing buttons, and then you have to select the ones that you want. So the ones that you're not going to be using are going to be grayed off. So for example, if I click on Mastodon again, it grays it off and it removes it from the list. But if I add it, it highlights it down here and then it adds it to the list, and you just have to click close, and then it saves them all. And then everything else that you don't want to appear in the main list of icons, you can add them to the more, where it says here edit more, and then do exactly what you did with the first one. And so here I'm going to go ahead, save settings, and then settings saved successfully. And so I'm going to go scroll back to the top. As you can see, it's got marketing, traffic, connections. Remember, it took us to a whole new window, right? So let's try and leave that window so we can go back. Leave that window and then come back to here because we've configured the sharing buttons. The next section is discussion. The discussion section, let visitors use a WordPress.com, Twitter, Facebook account to comment. Yes, that's actually fine. If you've ever seen, sometimes it asks you to comment using Facebook, etc. This is where that sort of thing is made possible. And I think it's a great feature because sometimes some people are constantly logged into Twitter or Facebook or, you know, other accounts. This actually allows them to comment from that account, if that makes sense. So leave a reply. I always choose dark mode. And then here it says enable pop-up business cards over commenters gravatar. Yes. I think here it's been showing you how, okay, it's not showing how it's done, but I know exactly what it's talking about. Enable pop-up banners cards over commenter gravatar. So basically, when someone comments, you can hover over their gravatar and it will show you roughly like, okay, are they in tech and that sort of thing. It gives you an idea who that person is. Enable markdown use for comments, yes. Enable comment likes, yes. Markdown use is basically when people are giving each other thumbs up and thumbs down when they're putting comments. And obviously enable comment likes is when people obviously get the likes on the comment. And then the newsletter, this obviously I already enabled it earlier on, but let visitors subscribe to new posts and comments by email. Enable the subscriber to site option on your comments form. Enable the subscribe to comments option on your comments form. Okay, it says view your subscribers. We do not have any, so let's not bother with that. And so now the next step, as you can see, it didn't ask us to click save because it auto saves. The next one is traffic, but you see it's saying it's not letting me leave. Hello. Let me do that again, maybe. Updating settings. Okay, I'm hoping this time is fine. Okay, let's go to traffic. Okay. Traffic, we're not talking about actual vehicle traffic. We're talking about the traffic that you get on the website. So related topics, okay, that's good for traffic because then it allows someone to stay on the website to read more. And it says show a thumbnail image where available. Yes, we want a thumbnail image. you know, highlight related content with a heading. So that's the heading. So if I take that out, you can have the heading like this or like this with the heading. So click that heading so that it shows that this is related content for those who are not sure. And then at the bottom, search engine optimization. Remember I mentioned that earlier on, which is SEO. It's telling take control of the way you search engines represent your site. With Jetpack's SEO tools, you can preview how your content will look like on popular search engines and change items like your site name and tagline in seconds. So customize your SEO settings. We've enabled that. And then yes, expand. So this is to do with the site basically, but this is stuff that you'd have to do honestly when you've got more time in your hands, because you see expand to customize the page title structure of your site. So, you know, site title, tagline, and stuff like that. And again, this is for more slightly advanced. So if I were you, I'll just click on that and I'll leave that bit for now. And then Jetpack stats, if you've got any, they'll appear here. So here, expand to update settings for how visits are counted and manage who can view this information, right? Enable a new Jetpack stats, include a small chart in your admin bar, okay? Count logged in page views from admin, etc. So it's basically telling you what it utilizes. So editor, author, etc. Show post views for this site. Let's close that one. You don't really need the Jetpack stats right now. Google Analytics, it wants you to add Google Analytics via, oh, no, go away from me. It's a freaking moth. Sorry about that. Are we really, like, are you for real? Where did you even come from? Connect to Google Analytics. This one is asking for an upgrade. Where it's asking you to upgrade in order to add that. But if I were you, honestly, I wouldn't be too fast, because your hosting company is going to have your analytics. Jetpack will still give you analytics, if truth be told. And so don't be too fast about that. Blaze, attract high quality traffic to your site using Blaze. I need to look into this one because this is new. Manage your campaigns and view your earnings in Blaze dashboard. I'm assuming this is a new section of the plugin. So if I click on that, I want to quickly see where it takes me. Page hours ago. Okay. Oh, look at that at home. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. And it took me to tools. That's interesting. And advertising. That is interesting. That's very new. But I'm going to go back and then maybe we'll dissect that at another date. Okay. WP.me short links. Generate shortened URLs for simpler sharing. And you can actually do that. So the beauty about this is it's added a lot of features that make it easier for people. It's added, like, some of the features I'm like, oh, this is new. Okay, when did this? Because it's been a minute since I've like fidgeted around the back end of WordPress. Sitemaps. Sitemaps are files that search engines like Google or Bing use to index your website. They can help improve your ranking in search results. When you enable this feature, Jetpack will create sitemaps for you and update them automatically when the content on your site changes. So yes, generate XML sitemaps. I definitely recommend that. And it automatically, good news, Jetpack is sending your sitemap automatically to all major search engines for indexing. So if you want to look at your sitemaps, you can literally copy that and then have a look at them. So anytime you want to look at them, just literally come to your settings, go to sitemaps, and you can literally just open them to a new tab like that. And so because this is new, you won't see anything. But if it was old, you would have seen a long list of stuff that's going on within the sitemap. And so the next section is site verification. This one is important. Site verification is when you are connecting with Google AdSense and you want adverts on your website. Site verification is very, very important. And so you can auto verify with Google or manually verify with Google. Okay, so if I decide to auto verify, I click on that, Google will open this and try and get me to log in basically. Now, here's the thing with this one, I think I'm going to use the Global Zambian, and I'm going to allow. There you go, updating, verifying, update. So just like that, the site has actually been updated. Your site is verified with Google and done. So that is literally the easiest way you can get your website to be verified. For all those who've been looking to verify their website, that is literally one of the easiest ones. There's another one, the other option it gave me, I probably have to download the TXT file and then add it to the root. But if you're a beginner, as you can see how easy that was. It just asked me to log into the Google account and it verified it. And the account is now automatically verifiable. It says, note that verifying your site with these services is not necessarily in order for your site to be indexed by search engines. To use these advanced search engines tools and verify your site with a service, paste the HTML tag code below. Read the full instructions. If you're having trouble, supported verification services are Google Search Console, Bing Webmaster, Pinterest Site Verification, Yandex Webmaster, and Facebook Domain Verification. Yes, Facebook does have a domain verification because I've had to do that before as well. Okay, and so now we reached the bottom of the section for, I think it's sharing, traffic, sorry. And then there's the option to earn, okay. Here it says supercharge your site's performance and SEO with Jetpack boosts. Install for free. It's saying install for free, then you have to pay probably afterwards. So earn, explore tools to earn money with your site. And I'm sure a lot of people, this is the section they absolutely love. So the first one is adverts. Generate income with high quality adverts. Here you're required to upgrade, of course. Now you don't have to worry about this. Remember, it's asking you to upgrade, but that's where Google AdSense comes into play. Collect payments. Let visitors pay for digital goods and services or make quick preset donations by enabling the payment button block. Accept donations and tips. Accept one-time and recurring donations by enabling the donation form block. Collect PayPal payments. This is obviously you can be able to add PayPal. Now start accepting PayPal payments for physical products, digital books, and it's asking you to upgrade. Now, don't worry about this. Like honestly, a lot of this that's on here, because once we've connected the WooCommerce, yes, which is a WooCommerce, you'll be able to actually integrate PayPal through that, and where you'll be able to actually accept payments. I'll give you an example of that. This is my EPCreativeMedia website for my Sims. Okay, I actually added a widget to allow people to donate. And so if someone wants to buy me a cup, as you can see, I say buy me a cuppa, I integrated easily PayPal. And so if someone clicks on this, it should try to take me to PayPal. You see, PayPal, donate. Oh, look at this. Donate to the Ethicom Group. Your donation helps in the build-up of the EPCreativeMedia platform to produce more content for you to enjoy and download. And then it's giving you the option to donate £2, £4, £6, or other if you're feeling extremely generous. But I just wanted to show you how that widget kind of works in the donation. So in order for me to be able to explain that, this option for collecting PayPal payments, for you to upgrade just to enable that, is not necessary, you know, because the option is actually there. Cancel and return to the Ethicom Group, or in other words, it's going to take me back to EPCreativeMedia, and it takes me straight back to my shop of where I've got my custom content for my Sims. Okay, so that just gives you an idea of how that particular section works. And then for the section which I mentioned for sharing, I said I would take you to another version of it. So I'm going to go and I'm going to open, oh, hang on, I don't need to. Here it is. Okay, let's log into there. WP admin. Okay, so we're going to log into the Global Zambian magazine. And when we log to the Global Zambian magazine, I'm going to show you how the social section works. And after I do that, then I'm going to actually call it a night, because we've exceeded past midnight, we've exceeded 3 hours, and then we are going to continue to the next stages. Like I said, this probably will be in multiple parts because it is quite a lot to dissect. Yes, you can actually go on the internet and find very basic, very simple, very quick how-to for WordPress, but I am doing this one with the option for for you to be able to go step by step as I am giving the live stream. And so, as you can see, I've got so much to update. With this one, as you can see, it's got loads of stuff going on because this website is in use, right? But when it comes to the social sharing, I'm going to go to Jetpack, just like the other one from before. As you can see, it's got Jetpack. And then from Jetpack, what I am looking for is my settings. Okay, and then I'm going to click on sharing. Okay, and then connect your social media accounts. You can see here, automatically share your post to social networks is in green because it's been selected. And then I'm going to click on connect your social account, which should open in wordpress.com, which is connected to it. And as you can see, because Twitter, Elon Musk says Twitter is no longer supported. And so when it comes to Twitter, I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect all because we don't need it. It's literally no longer supported. So the only social platform that you might not be able to auto post to that is a popular platform is Twitter, because it's no longer supported. So with this one, I've completely disabled it. And then here it's saying there's an issue connecting to Facebook. That is fine. That does happen sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to click on reconnect. And then when I'm reconnecting, it's literally taking me to my Facebook. Click on continue. And that's why I say that Facebook is actually quite good at integrating with other applications. So I'm going to continue as myself. You've previously linked Jetpack to Facebook. Yes, I have. And I'm going to click OK because it's recognized that I have. And then hopefully that should help reconnect. If it doesn't, then I'll check later on. I'll try and troubleshoot it. But let's see who's having issues. So connection available to all administrators, Global Zambian Magazine. So this is connected. This is connected. That's fine. And then LinkedIn, it's the same thing. I have to go ahead and reconnect. Mastodon, which is new. You can see it's all over the place. Go ahead and connect it. And again, because they have now enabled for you to be able to share directly from WordPress to Instagram, you can connect your Instagram business account. Now for the TGZ magazine, I am not going to, simply because I've got a particular format on how we post on Instagram. We post with frames that we edit, etc., that sort of thing. And so I'm not going to connect it. But for other people who do not have that kind of formatting, I definitely would recommend that you go ahead and you connect it. I do want to look into this Mastodon because it's new to me and find out what's important about this new social platform. But yeah, basically the Facebook account was unable to reconnect. That's fine. I can fix that later on. But this is just to give you an idea on how you connect. So when you go ahead and you connect your social media accounts, for example, Facebook, it will literally ask you, if I say connect one more account, I can do this. Connect, continue as me. You can update what Jetpack can do in your business integration settings, which is what? Okay, yep, that's fine. Smash balloon, it's already connected, so we're good. I just needed to, oh, sugar. Did I just come out of it? My gosh, hang on, my bad. I didn't look that it, I didn't realize it took over. So it's that one that way. No, it did open a new tab, right? I wasn't seeing things. Did it open a new tab? I could have sworn it opened a new tab. That's why we were there. I am confusion. Where did it take me? Did it teach you mag? Okay, that's fine. I can always redo it. Come out. Go back. Ah, it did open a new tab. Oh my gosh, why did I get so confused? This is what the problem is when you have got too many tabs open. I thought I was going crazy. Okay, so is this still connecting? No. It's still trying to connect, I think. Connect one or more account, yes. Log into another account, no. I don't need to do that. Connect. Okay. I think it's going to have to fix up. I'm not sure why. Ah, there we go. So normally when the connection is successful, this is what you get, okay? It says connect to Facebook. And so these are the Facebook pages. I've got quite a few, and I help manage other people's Facebook pages as well. What we are looking for is this one, the Global Zambian Magazine, TGZ. And then it says connected to TGZ Magazine, which is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and connect, since it was having problems with connecting earlier on. So it's like I'm reconnecting it. A Jetpack social connection for the blog ID, keyring, connection ID already exists. You should be able to find it. Okay, so it's fine. So it exists. And then same thing with LinkedIn. I don't know why LinkedIn needs a reconnection. Let me try and sign in. Allow. And it's reconnecting. Okay, LinkedIn has reconnected. So I'm not sure why the error was there. But Facebook, even if it's saying it's having errors, it's actually connected. And so that's kind of the process. It literally will bring up a pop-up, ask you to log into that particular site, check mark, and then it brings you back, and then you're connected. And then that way, when you are actually posting on the website itself, so I'm going to close that window and I'm just going to quickly show you. So with the Global Zambian Magazine, for instance, if I am posting something new, okay, add a new post. Okay, if I'm adding a new post, is it going? No. Why is it taking me? Post, add new. Thank you. There we go. Okay. When we go to post, to add a new post, basically, depending on whatever the post is, etc. Once you have finished, okay, for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to quickly go to switch to that one. I'm going to go to the email. Okay, so this is the Global Zambian Magazine email. Don't worry, you're not seeing anything that is hidden. This is where all the press releases come. As you can literally see this plethora that I have not touched because I've been so busy with other things. For example, this is a correction. Put, okay, Forum Zanzi's top business women share their best pieces of advice for female professionals this Women's Month. Geez, that's a long title. And so I would have to basically take that. Let me go to this next to each other. Title, copy paste. Okay, the text, the context of it is what? Apologies, abort, that's fine. So this was when did they send this? On the 3rd. Oh, I'm so late. So anyways, just copy all of that. The article ends there. Let me scroll that down and then paste. Okay, so let's say, for example, this is the article, etc., and I've added the images, etc. Now I'm ready to publish it, right? After I've added everything. The first thing, before you actually even publish it, there's a lot of things. Remember I mentioned categories and things like that. You have to tag them accordingly. You have to add the tags. And in the next tutorial, I'm going to be going through this section of how to go about with the tagging, with setting your featured image, putting an excerpt, because this is what will show if someone shares that link, it shows an excerpt in the picture of the particular post that you are sharing. And then once you're happy, you're satisfied with your imaging and everything that you've added to the post, and you want to go ahead and publish, even if I click on publish, by the way, it's not going to publish immediately. Okay, when I click on publish, it brings you this little mini window. The mini window basically is one that allows you to look at a few things, where visibility, public, and if you want it to be private, you can do that. You can have it password protected. And there's even an option, I think, somewhere before you publish, I think here on visibility, not in the publish section, but before you even click on publish, when you click on there, password protected private, or you can be able to publish when, okay, immediately, or you can schedule it. So here immediately it will go through now, or you can schedule it for another date and time. That way, once you've published, it will only post at the date and time that you've requested for it to publish. Okay. So, and then if you've got people working for you who are blogging for you, etc., you can make it so that for them, every single post they make will have to be pending a review. That way, whoever it is that watches over it has to review that page, the post they made first before they actually go ahead and publish it. Okay. And so when I go ahead and click on publish, like I was saying before, you know it's going to be public. You can make it private. You can make it password protected. And then immediately You can have the time and date, etc., when you want it to come through. Suggestions, add tags. It's making a suggestion because I haven't added any. So it's asking me to add the tags. So it's become smarter with time. I love this. And then also the categories, I haven't added any. So it's making a suggestion that you haven't done anything. It's also got an AI assistant which is powered by Jetpack. Check for mistakes and verify the tone of your post before publishing, so you can generate your feedback from there. And then share the post. Now, the section to share the post, this post will be shared on all your enabled social media accounts the moment you publish the post. Share when publishing. So you can do that, share when publishing, you can share after the fact. But it's brought in a new little clause where it says you have 30 shares. Oh, I hate it when it does this, where it just does a refresh. You have 30 shares remaining in the next 30 days. Upgrade now to share more. Okay, so if you don't publish too much within 30 days, to be honest, especially to social media, this is okay. You can stick with the 30 and then you can just manually share to social media with the other ones afterwards, if truth be told. And so here you can see it's got the EPCom group, it's got TGZ magazine. TGZ TV is the one that's having problems connecting, so it's been grayed out. My LinkedIn has been added there, and then you can now share directly to your Instagram account, and it's giving you the option to connect now, but we don't want to do that. And then here you write a message. So this is like a little short excerpt, so that when it shares to those social media, it's going to have a little caption that goes with those social media posts, basically. And then here you've got the social previews. So preview what this will look like on social networks and Google search. So you can actually stop it. You can actually preview what the post. Oh, has it just removed my preview? I really hate I don't know why WordPress. That's one thing. What my one pet peeve that I have with WordPress, it does this refresh thing that it does. I find it very tedious. So social previews, it actually allows you to actually preview what it will roughly look like when you have it on social media platforms. And then obviously newsletter. Remember the newsletter thing I mentioned earlier on? This is once you post it, it also alerts everyone that's in your mailing list to say, hey, we've posted something new. Here you go. That way they are alerted. They don't have to come to the website to try and find out if you've posted anything new. You'll be telling them directly in their email address. So this is everyone or anyone that's subscribed or paid subscribers only. Okay. And then it gives you the preview and then you can go ahead and publish. But I'm going to cancel this, obviously, because that's what we're trying to do right now. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove that from the stream, bring that to the front, because guys, it's midnight right now. My face is extremely oily. Like I can feel it. It feels so uncomfortable. It feels so uncomfortable. I need to kind of wash my face at this point. But yes, for those who tuned in, I just want to give you a massive thank you for tuning in. Thank you for contributing with asking questions, etc., that sort of thing. I hope you found this 3 hours, 3 and 30 minutes long live stream, and that's been going through the steps, obviously, on how to create your own WordPress site and basically how to be able to implement that from scratch. Okay, not just saying, oh, if you've installed, just no, from scratch. So I take you step by step, which you should be able to sit down and actually take down notes if you need to, etc., that sort of thing. I'm hoping you find that very, very helpful. And so just a quick little reminder for those people who are basically watching over on YouTube, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. And of course, click on that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. And of course, the bell button so that you can receive notifications every time I upload new content. And of course, for those people who are watching over from Facebook, please do give the video a thumbs up. And of course, like or follow the page that you are watching from. And do please share this live stream to as many people as you possibly can share it to, as it helps me immensely in the algorithm. And then just for those people, obviously you just saw the TGZ magazine. Right now I've put it on slight hiatus, but it will be back soon. As you can see, I've got loads of pending press releases, etc. If you ever do want to visit the magazine website, you can freely go to www.tgzmag.com for all your latest news on pop culture, lifestyle, and entertainment. And of course, for those people who are looking to support my platforms, this basically supporting me supports all my platforms across the board. So you can always join my Patreon, which is basically patreon.com/EPCreativeMedia, or you can always send a donation over using PayPal, just paypal.me/the Ethicom group. That is paypal.me/the Ethicom group for you to send a donation over there. So for those that missed it, we were literally going through and a continuation of walking you through creating your own website from scratch using WordPress. Otherwise, again, please do not forget to make sure that you give you a thumbs up, subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, please do me a solid, click that bell button so that you can receive notifications every time I upload new content. And for those people, it is already in the chat. If you have liked this tutorial and you are looking to sign up to a hosting company but are not sure, my personal recommendation is SiteGround. And so the link is already in the chat. You should be able to find it there. Just go ahead and click on that link, because that is my referral to you that will allow you, I think, to get about a month's worth for free, or I think at a discounted rate with SiteGround hosting. And basically they've got great customer service, and so they'll be able to talk you through getting the right package that's suited for your budget and for your type of business. Otherwise, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a night. It's late, it's past midnight. I should really be going to sleep. I should be asleep. Otherwise, until next time, for me, it's take care and goodbye.